What is the lion's mentality? Fearless courage, bravery, leadership, never willing to surrender, and will fight unto death. Do you have a lion's mentality?
Are you prepared to work? Are you prepared to dig? You got to fight. You got to push. You got to give everything you have. All you need is the power, the strength, and the tenacity to give it everything you got.
Maybe you're just buried in debt, bills. Maybe you need to stand up for something you love or believe in that others don't understand. Don't stop. Do not give up. Do not give in. Be courageous. Be fearless in going after what it is you want to manifest in your life. Maybe you have tried time and time again and nothing has worked. Maybe you have become discouraged because you have been on the hunt for your goals for years with no rewards. Let me share something with you. Lions only hunt 2 hours a day and sleep the other 16 to 20 hours. A lion knows within those 2 hours, they have to give it everything that they have, and everyone better get out of their way because they're going to destroy anything in their path. You must keep hunting. You must keep fighting. There's no guarantee that anything will pay off today. But if you keep going, there are possibilities. The only guarantee is failure if you quit. The guarantee of missing out on your next opportunity and creating the life that you claim you want for yourself.
It ain't gonna be easy. It's not gonna be a walk in the park. There's always more to give. You got to be willing to sacrifice. You got to be willing to hurt. You got to be willing to yell out. Whatever it takes, keep pushing forward. Don't you give up on your life.
Be brave. The lion is brave. Lions are ready to face danger and pain, and they go in 100%. Lions cannot afford to second guess their ability because it could cost them their life. How different would your life be if you were as brave as the lion? What could you accomplish? What would you attempt? What if you decided to believe in yourself and the gifts that you possess? How far could you go? How far could you climb if you just believe in your abilities?
If you trust yourself, it will come to you at the right time in which you need it.
I have too much to accomplish to be satisfied with where I am right now.
Prey doesn't lie there waiting to be eaten. Prey runs, jumps, and does whatever it is necessary to survive the unbreakable bravery of a lion. The lion doesn't stop fighting because if prey puts up a fight. How would your life change if you continue to fight in the face of adversity? What dreams would you accomplish? What barriers could you break down if you kept fighting, even though life is putting up a fight? You're responsible for your results. You know what's best for you, and only you know what it requires to live the life you want to live.
You are enough and you have what you need to succeed. You are enough. You're equipped for greatness. You're powerful beyond your greatest imagination.
This is the now, and I want to see you working. I want you to dig. I want you to feel it. I want you to struggle. I want you to hurt. I want you to bleed. I want you to fight, because this is that time. Show the world and show up and show out. You got to understand that it takes grit, passion, and determination to get to the level of where you want to be. Beyond the sky, there's a great big universe. Now what are you gonna do about it?
Be brave. Never surrender. Only you know which path to take in each moment of your life. You must approach the path with bravery. Never surrender. Lions never surrender because they have heart. Lions are the king of the jungle, and they cannot show any signs of weakness. Lions do not make excuses. They execute. And no matter how outnumbered they are, they're willing to die for their dignity. Do you have what it takes to keep going? Do you have what it takes to go that extra mile? Do that extra push-up? Run that extra lap? Lift that extra weight? What if you don't surrender? They may be smarter than you. They may be faster than you. They may be bigger than you. But because you have the mentality of a lion, you will win. You will not be dethroned. You will not be defeated. You will not be detached from your purpose. You will have everything you want because there's a lion within.
But I'm king. of my jungle because of my mentality.
The first statement I will make to you here is the statement my Modoc told me. He said, decisions make men. In December 2008, I looked at my children, looked at my wife, looked at everybody. I said, no, I cannot continue like this. I said that I need to change the way my family is. How can I be asking Ali to give me Indomie, give me geisha, give me bread, give me tea, that I'll pay him 3,000 at the end of the month? I took a decision that I was going to make 100 million in 1 year. I wrote it on the wall. I wrote it on my ceiling. So when I sleep, I look up at the ceiling, is the first thing I see. When I stay by the wall, is on my wall. On this other side, on my wall. On my toilet door, in and out. Everywhere I go to, I see 100 million. Until you see it in your eye, you cannot get it. When a target is defined, direction appears. You are sitting here, suffering and punishing yourself because you have not put yourself on that target.
I want to remind you to continue to dream and dream big, and understand that your family and friends and loved ones, in most cases, boyfriends, girlfriends, they will be the first to try and talk you out of your dreams, your visions and ideas as to what you're supposed to do with your life. They will say, who wants you when you put on all that weight? Nobody's interested in you. Nobody's checking for you. They'll laugh at you. They'll call you names because they have no dreams. They have no hunger for success. They don't have an appetite. They don't want it. Can't help myself. I want to win.
And if you're doing something great, you really don't care if people are talking about you.
For all of you folks out there that's losing sleep, you never allow anybody to make you feel bad about being so blessed when you've worked your ass off to get it. And you can keep all your little slick ass comments to yourself. Because guess what? I don't remember the last time I lost sleep over a hater. It's not that I'm above opinions. It's not that I'm bigger, greater, or more significant than anybody. But you will never make me feel bad about being this blessed when I've worked my ass off to get here. Don't lose no sleep over these haters, man. The reason they got a problem with your life is because they don't have a life. People are talking behind your back because you left them a long time ago. They're behind you.
Insanity is defined as doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. I need you to prepare for dominance. Whether you like it or not, domination has come. It is by choice. There are people that are sitting here. You have looked at your result. Your result is showing that you graduate with a 10th class. Your result is showing that you will not come out as a good student. You are even afraid to go back home to your parents and say, Daddy, Mommy, I have failed. Come on. It is because of you I am here today. The instruction of your lecturers that whether you have failed or not does not mean you are going to fail. I don't care what anybody has said about you. Success is your duty. It's your responsibility to succeed. Your father does not owe you anything. Your mother does not owe you anything. The government does not owe us anything. Everybody was born naked. Everybody. There is nobody I know that came out with shoes, iPad, BlackBerry, nobody. Everybody came out naked. The only thing a baby comes out is the fear of falling down and the fear of a loud noise. Every other thing you learned to be poor. So if you're going to be successful, you have to unlearn poverty and learn success. That decisions make men. What decision do you want to take today? What decision do you want to happen in your life? What decision do you want to see in 5 years' time? Everybody overestimates what you can accomplish in 1 year, but you underestimate what you can accomplish in 5 years. Stop thinking short term. Think about the long term.
How much longer are you going to wait? How much longer? You going to wait another 30 seconds? Going to wait another minute? Going to wait another hour? Maybe we'll start in a couple hours. You know what? How about I just wait till tomorrow? You're going to wait till tomorrow? You're going to wait another week? You're going to wait another month? How much longer are you going to wait?
All great people start. They start anywhere, at any place, and at any time. They start whether they're hurting. They start whether they're excited. It does not matter where they are. They just start.
Just start. Just do the work. You just go. And procrastination dies.
I was tired of 1,000, 5,000, 20,000. So I wrote on my wall 100 million. I wrote it on the wall, big with paper. I will lie down by my bed on the floor. When I wake up, it's 100 million. I see. I wrote it on my ceiling, 100 million. When I turn like this, 100 million. Turn like this, 100 million in my bedroom. Turn like this, 100 million. My toilet, when I'm sitting on the throne, 100 million. Whatever you look on, once there is a will, there will always be a way. I put a target on my mind, 100 million. And I put a time, 1 year. 1 year. When you put a time and a target, you turn to a madman. Direction will appear. The world does not excuse the road for human beings. It's when you are mad, the road will clear. Hi everyone, my name is Ubong King, and I want to just make this video as a life lesson to everybody, especially if you are successful. I have mentioned in one of my videos that between two mountains of success, there's the valley of failure. The first enemy of success is success. Between two mountains of success, there's a valley of failure. When you get here, complacency sets in. So you gradually start going down. The only way to move from one mountain to another mountain is to build a bridge. Yeah? And what is a bridge? A bridge is people. People. If you want results in 3 months, plant corn. Instant businesses. If you want results in 1 year, plant yam. But if you want result of a lifetime, plant men. When you become weak here, these people are the ones that will carry you. You don't eat alone.
To serve our Father with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with her and mine, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Oh God of creation, direct a noble cause, guide our leaders right, help our use the truth to know.
that the Bible says that in the Garden of Eden, there were 4 rivers that were feeding it. So I began to study this a little bit, understanding business and structure from the Bible. So I stopped there to think that it took 4 rivers to water the Garden of Eden. When I looked at it, that for God to water a garden, it took 4 rivers. Warren Buffett said that if you are not making money when you are asleep, you will work for another man all the days of your life. Multiply your sources of income. Dominate the air. Aliko Dangote, the richest man in Africa, has 69. Dangote truck, Dangote sugar, Dangote salt, Dangote this, Dangote. What do you create? Say only at a certain point in my time, I was doing telemetry systems, but we had a problem. We couldn't be hosting masts, so we needed telecoms. So I spoke with the lady in China, and we communicated on Skype. She said that this equipment will cost $100 a sample. So we paid the $100. She sent the equipment. The equipment worked perfectly. And I said, okay, I wanted to order 300 pieces of this equipment. But I said, for me to order, I need to come and see your factory. She said, no problem. They got me an approval to come to China. When I got to their office, I was shocked. The whole of their office, production plant, is a 3-bedroom flat. Wow. 3-bedroom flat. The parlor is the marketing office. 2 rooms are production. Her bedroom is 1. And she was doing international trade. She had staff that resume in the morning and close by 6 p.m. And also she has staff that increase, that come by 6 p.m. and close by 6 a.m. in the morning. Their marketing is 24 hours. Nigerians, why do we do business only in the day? We need to change the paradigm and start trading at night. Because once it is night there, they know that it is daytime here. So they market you. They market other countries. I want to challenge Nigerian businessmen. Every single person that is here, better turn your own marketing unit that resumes at night, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Whatever money you make in the daytime, you can make twice as much in the night.
Hi, my name is Boy, the human service provider, and this is Thinkation2023. So please stay tuned. Do not miss any part of this conference because it's going to bless you and uplift you in a cardiovascular equitability of strategical efficacy. There are a lot of amazing speakers who will be speaking to us. So stay tuned. Do not miss any part of it. It is Thinkation2023.
The word thinkation, a poetic combination of 2 words, thinking and education, is an initiative that promotes the infusion of critical thinking into education in order to acquire problem-solving skills that will be channeled to solving our economic problems and lifting many young people out of poverty. This agenda is strategically predicated on the convener's quest to contribute to the actualization of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 1 and 4, which is to reduce to at least by half the proportion of men, women, and children of all ages living in poverty in all its dimensions according to national definitions, and to ensure that all young people acquire the knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development through quality education by the year 2030. Thinkation, an initiative that started like a seed planted in the heart of one man, has gradually become a phenomenon sweeping through Africa and beyond. The initiative, which started in 2018, was birthed by Dr. Ubong Thompson-King, president of the Ubong King Foundation, as a means to combat the growing unemployment and poverty concern in Nigeria and Africa at large. The burden of solving this problem was so heavy on Dr. King's heart, he had to retire early from a company he started to channel all his energy and time to actualize this mandate. The first edition of Thinkation held in 2018 with the theme Activate Your Thinking, with over 800 attendees with an array of global political and business leaders in attendance. The event gave birth to a mentorship network that had a lot of young people signed up to be personally mentored by Dr. Ubong Thompson-King. In 2019, Thinkation with the theme Out of the Box grew bigger with about 4,000 participants in attendance for the annual conference, which held at the Harbour Point Event Center, Victoria Island, Lagos, with lots of industry leaders present to share their story with the participants. This geometric increase in the number of participants was a direct evidence of the growing mentorship network and influence of Dr. Ubong King and the Ubong King Foundation. Thinkation2020, codenamed Thinkation XX with the theme Break the Rules, was definitely bigger than anything people had seen. It was the highest gathering of young people in Africa in one place, birthing disruptive, world-changing solutions that will change our world. In Dr. King's words, let us poke holes in the world we live in. With the pandemic and the sudden departure of Dr. Ubong King, Thinkation2021, Dare to Fly, was a special memorial edition that was streamed to thousands across the globe. In 2022, partially back on the physical terrain, Thinkation was hosted in a special hybrid edition themed Create Your World. If you're watching this, it can only mean one thing, that you're live at Thinkation2023 with the theme The Winning Edge. Relax and enjoy the rest of this life-changing event. Thinkation2023, The Winning Edge.
It was Abraham Lincoln who said that the best way to predict your future is to create it. And Norman Vincent Peale also said that if you change your thoughts, you change your world. I welcome you all to the 6th edition of this flagship event, Thinkation, and the 3rd edition since our great founder, my husband, Ubong Thompson King, departed this side of the divide for his eternal abode on the 26th of December 2020. The theme for this year's event is The Winning Edge. Like we say at the foundation, Ubong King may not be here anymore in his earthly suit, but he left behind indelible marks on the sands of time, and his legacy will continue to speak for generations after him because he built it to outlast him. We are blessed and honored to have worked closely with him and to be part of this great work that he started. We are blessed to extend his hands on this side to ensure that the great work he started continues to speak in myriads of beautiful expressions. About 6 years ago, precisely 2018, Thinkation was conceived by our founder, Dr. Ubong King, and this was born out of his pain points and passion to drive change, having known and tested failure, rejection, mockery, ridicule, but rising from the ashes of defeat to success and impactful living. He was not only concerned for his family, but he wanted to guide and help other young people succeed in life, not merely by giving them fish, but also teaching them how to fish. His life experiences birthed a strong passion to raise young entrepreneurs with a mandate to impact their world through creative thinking, in addition to education, and also wean them from a dependency mindset to a productive one, as well as influencing the hungry minds in this generation to reposition themselves and get productive. Thinkation is a creative major of thinking and education. We believe that thinking is the missing component in our young minds and businesses today. And that is why we are painstakingly putting this event together to challenge parochial mindsets and provoke their critical thinking processes. A lot has happened globally between the last edition of Thinkation and Now, as we have witnessed all, good, bad, and ugly. The global crisis in world politics is one. We have seen deepened humanitarian crisis. We have seen the ease of the COVID pandemic. We have seen intensified climate change, the Russia-Ukraine war, the beautiful edition of the FIFA World Cup for football lovers, and not forgetting the spike in world population. Narrowing it down to Nigeria, the United Nations Children's Emergency Fund says that an estimated 26,039 babies were born in Nigeria on New Year's Day. UNICEF's Nigerian representative, Mr. Peter Hawkins, said in a statement that Nigerian babies will account for almost 7% of the estimated 392,078 babies to be born on New Year's Day globally. Hawkins said that this figure is the third highest number of babies in the world, after India with 67,385 and China 46,299. The theme for this year's edition of Thinkation 2023 is the winning age. Now, all over, because of the global economic crisis, the push for us to be better than we were previously, a huge part of our daily conversation border around success. We talk about being better than before. We talk about being our best, overcoming adversity, and a lot more. In other words, we talk about winning. Winning is a huge part of who we are and what we want to do. So those parts of our formula simply must exist if we are to win by becoming the best version of ourselves. Above all, we must have a mindset that is devoted to a relentless pursuit of excellence. As Vince Lombardi said, and I will quote, "The spirit, the will to win, and the will to excel, these are things that endure, and these are qualities that are much more important than any of the events that occasion them." Being relentless is having an unwavering, unyielding mindset that will not allow us to stop striving to be the very best of ourselves, no matter what circumstances we face. The winning age formula involves focus, it involves intention, it involves consistency. When we talk about focus, I want to ask, what are you devoting your time and energy to? We must be conscious of what we are doing with our 86,400 seconds in a day if we are to be relentless. Everything we do must have purpose that is tied into our ultimate goal, because whatever we focus on is what we will overcome. Everybody is effective when they know the right thing to do and devote their energies towards doing these right things. This is the surest way you can go to eliminate distractions. When we focus on issues of genuine impact and eliminate peripheral noise, this will ensure that everyone will take another step. Speaking about intention, are you intentional each day, or do you just wake up and rush into your day without any clear-cut plan for the day? An intentional person has a narrow and defined focus, not to the point of rigidity anyway. People with structured, purposeful, and intentional behavior will change the environment around them. Sometimes they do it immediately, at other times it's over time, it takes time. An intentional person is resolute and clear-minded, and at the same time they are able to make necessary adjustments as new information presents itself, because life is all about being a lifelong learner. We learn every day. When we are intentional, when we become this intentional person, everybody around us will feel our strength and discipline, and in so doing will be determined to take another step towards winning in life. Finally, let's look at consistency. Are you consistent in your behavior? Consistency creates stability. Consistency creates habits, and your habits will determine your future. The Thinkation platform features established transformational leaders, including young and upcoming lions, from different facets of life to share experiences, insights, and secrets that can help people to achieve extraordinary impact and accelerate their personal growth trajectory in business and national development. It is an intimate forum that presents leadership-driven conversations with quick-hitting expert presentations followed by in-depth discussions with experts. Thinkation is a platform where our speakers come and they share practically their experiences on the field. It's not a platform where our speakers come and do theories. They tell their life stories practically of how they got from one point to the other. The speakers are set to direct participants to life and business success using the principles that have worked for them to give clarity, direction, know-how, strategy, vision, as well as inspire them to take strategic actions to succeed. Thinkation is a platform where successful people share their authentic stories of both victories and triumphs and how they navigated the rough times. It's also a platform where up and coming young people are given an opportunity for expression. This is the reason why we have the Corps, and these are the teenagers who tell their stories of little beginnings, which we do not despise. We believe in catching them young. On behalf of the organizing committee of Thinkation2023 at the Ubong King Foundation and myself, I want to welcome you to Thinkation2023, the week.
I remember a king who understood the power of serving humanity by laying down his own crown, who was not in any way diminished by building others up. I'm just your boy.
I remember a king who once told me 99.9% is a failure. I remain your boy.
I remember a king who taught me the power of valuing relationships. To Dr. Ubong King, every relationship comes with value. I'll never ever forget that.
To my brother, Dr. Ubong King, yes, it looks as if you are not here, but we clearly understand that you are with us always. You are with us always. Being with the Lord represents also to us that you are with us always. May the Lord continue to keep you. And then you left so much for us. You left so much for those of us that listen to you always. Most of those messages were the ones that really wakes me up every morning to say to me, look, when you say you need to provoke yourself to succeed in life against all odds, no matter where you were coming from, where your family or your parents came from, it does not count. What is important is what you're going to leave behind to your children, your family, as a legacy. You taught us so much that most of them today we live by just looking at those words and not knowing and realizing that you are on a mission. Indeed, you are on a mission.
I remember King. Success is like two mountains with a valley in between. You must build bridges between the two mountains, and bridges are people. You must build people.
I remember a king, Ubong King, a role model of my father, who taught me that if I believe, I can achieve it. I remember a king.
Yeah, I remember a king that will always tell me, get into trouble. When you get into trouble, the way to get out of it will be revealed to you. Thank you, sir. You are mostly honored.
I remember a king. I remember a father who was always there for me in troubles and taught me that life is not all about puppies and rainbows, that there's still the hard aspects of life that everybody is going to have to face.
I remember a king, and I wouldn't forget this in our hurry. 99% is a failure. Forever in our heart, Chairman King.
I remember a king who said, know your numbers, because if you cannot count, you cannot be rich. Ubong King lives on.
Ooh! I remember a king once said, hunger is the gift of God to mankind.
Yes! I remember a king who said, you must have at least 4 streams of income
You work while it is night and implement it during the day.
I remember a king who taught me that if I want to fast track my destiny, I should identify and associate with those who can take me there.
I remember a king who taught me that business is war. Winning is not an option but a mandate. Everything you have is a weapon. Use it.
Food today.
I know a king who said, whenever you see the glory, look for the story. Ubong King, I love you.
I remember a king. Dr. Ubong King was a man of critical thinking, a trailblazer, and one driven with passion to impact young people. He left us a legacy of selflessness and impact.
I remember a king, Ubong King. This dynamic E4C champion lives forever. Ubong King came to this world for an assignment, and he delivered. He delivered in a very inspiring way. Touched the lives of the young ones, inspire the next generation leaders, and inspire even the leaders. We miss you, but you live forever.
I remember a king who used to be my prayer partner. Two things I learned from Ubong King. One, you don't have to pray for things that have been freely given to you. And two, everybody was born naked. A child only comes into this world with two fears, the fear of falling down and the fear of a loud noise. Every other thing was learnt. So poverty was learnt. If you want to be successful, unlearn poverty and learn success. Ubong King lives on.
I remember a king who came straight from the airport to the Unstock conference I hosted in 2017 at Victoria Island, Lagos, despite no official invitation to him, just to support a cause he believed in. The troublemaker, the king lives on.
I remember a king who did great things by believing that somehow things will work out, and it did.
I remember a king who once told me that the only way to get out of trouble is to get into trouble. Thank you for everything, Dr. King. Happy birthday.
I once knew a king, an Ubong king, a troublemaker of a king, a positive troublemaker of a king who will reign in my heart. I once knew a king, an Ubong king.
I remember a king who is unstoppable. Maybe you say was, but he's unstoppable, and that just makes me to keep going, keep driving daily.
I know a king who believes so much in the potential of the youth of Africa and always inspired us onto greatness. Your memory lives on, king. Rest in peace.
I remember a king, the great King Kong, Ubong comes the king. To get out of trouble, you have to get into trouble first. Ubong King lives on in our hearts forever. Peace.
I remember a king whose generosity knows no bounds. Long live the king.
I know a king, the troublemaker himself. My Oga at the top, I fondly called you. We miss you daily, but continue to rest, sir. God bless your soul.
I remember a king, and that king is led Dr. Ubong King, my mentor. And one of the greatest lessons I learned from him was that I should run as fast as I can, because everybody's on a race and you must win this race.
I remember a king, a consistent believer, who always reminds me that God's word works wonders with faith. A great influencer, I miss him.
I remember a king and a father that taught me never to give excuses and to always put 100% into whatever I'm doing.
I remember a king, Ubong King, still a king, alive. I remember a king.
I remember a king, and because of my association with you, sir, I have learned humility and to honor people.
Memories never die. The physical may die, but memories never die. Ubong King, the great Ubong King, the lion himself. He was such an awesome man, larger than life. So
Hi, my name is Cass Boy, the human service provider, and this is Thinkation2023. So please stay tuned. Do not miss any part of this conference because it's going to bless you and uplift you in the cardiovascular equitability of stratological efficacy. There are a lot of amazing speakers who will be speaking to us. So stay tuned. Do not miss any part of it. It is Thinkation 2023.
Ugochukwu Omeogu designed the Train the Trainer mentoring program adopted by Lagos State Government for secondary school teachers and students in Lagos State. Ugochukwu Omeogu holds a bachelor's degree in accounting and he is a certified tax specialist in the United States of America, diploma in small medium enterprises at Galilee International Management Institute, Israel, with over 15 years of practice and experience in facilitating strategic management, business and investment trainings, enterprise and entrepreneurial development, soft core and critical skills development courses in customer service, client relationship management, sales and marketing techniques, corporate strategy, deposit mobilization and leadership and change management. His holistic value chain management exposure and his marketing communication practice strengthen his balanced, objective and result-oriented view as regards effective marketing communication and key corporate deliverables. He has facilitated programs and trained for JP Morgan Chase Bank, USA, American Embassy, Angel Foundation USA, Zenith Bank PLC, Fidelity Bank PLC, Echo Bank PLC, Polaris Bank PLC, IEI, Staco Insurance, Century Energy Services Limited, Keystone Bank, iSkills, iTech's Integrated Software Systems Limited, Nymeth Pharmaceuticals PLC, TF Financial Services, Ghana. Among others, he helped in developing their change management and leadership, structural re-engineering training, and also in the development of their sales and marketing strategy and training. Ugochukwu Omeogu runs private mentoring programs for network marketing entrepreneurs, businesses, and corporate executives of Fortune 500 companies. He is the master of wealth creation processes, building a world-class business community. He is deep in his thought processes, passionate, dynamic, well-articulated, a continuous ardent learner, and a great listener.
Hello, Happy New Year everyone. This is 2023. I'm definitely happy today because of my friend Dr. Ubong King, an amazing, wonderful, iconic leader who really blessed us while he was on earth. As I speak to you, his message still resonates in our hearts. And so many of us who came across this gentle spirit, okay, we are really impacted by his presence and more importantly, by his knowledge. So this 2023, the Winning Edge is a moment for us not just to reminisce on the impact it made in our lives, but also to create a better outcome in our imagination so that we can begin to win the war and the battle of life. First in our mind, and secondly in our daily activities. So as you're watching this program today, I want you to know there is that spirit of winning that is embedded in your soul even before you were born. There is that consciousness of your capacities and capabilities. But what I tell everyone that care to know, just like Dr. Ubong King was a man that was resilient, he was always looking for the next best thing to bring to the world. He was a man that was always working on his inner self. He was always trying to reach a higher level of being, and that translated to him inspiring all of us, helping a lot of people, and today is also in memory of this young, beautiful soul, whom I know right now is in the heavens just looking down on all of us. And I'm sure he's happy wherever he is today. And in that spirit, I want you to know that any one of us here is a burning light of God. All of us in this platform, you are the means through which God finds presence on earth. You are throughout the instrumentality of our body, okay? Through the person that we are, the Spirit of God, the voice of God, the essence of God exudes through us, okay? So there's nothing else that we're supposed to be concerned except to unearth, to reveal the capacities that we have, the energies, the potentials, the talent that we have, so that other mortals who are caught up in some kind of darkness, in some kind of situation, in some kind of circumstances, when they see us, they light up. So the essence of winning is not to dominate another person, but to be a light for those who have lost hope. All right? So when you say you're winning, it means that you are, by definition of being a victor, okay, by definition of overcoming obstacles, by definition of, of victoriously ascending to a higher level of self, you're becoming an epitome of example of what the human mind and the human spirit can do. Okay? In 2023, in this program today, I want you to write down the quality of person you are looking forward to becoming. Okay? What kind of character do you want to possess? Okay? Because 90% of all the desires of our heart is subject to the character that we build. If you desire to be a man of substance, you must be having the character of leadership. Someone who not just wants to become successful, but someone that wants to show the way to other people. So in other words, the reason why you're trying to become successful is to understand those tenets, to build those qualities, to understand the characteristic. Even though as you're becoming a man of success, a woman of success, you are also at the same time understanding those tenets, the principles, the discipline that is required for you to become that person. So when you finally emerge as a winner, when you finally have those trophies, maybe a bigger house, maybe building hospitals for people, paying school fees, funding scholarships for people. You not only do those things, you can explain those principles, you can explain those characteristics to the people coming behind you. So a winner is someone who has run a race, finished that race well, but has laid a path for people to run that race better. That is why in this event, today, we are not just here because it's another day. It's because someone lived the life. He won. And for the sake of what he has done and what he has explained and the trails that he left and the path and the footstep that he put in the heart of men, this event is a reminder that each and every one of us who are watching this right now is capable of great, unimaginable, wonderful things. So wherever you're watching from, whatever little abode you are listening from, whatever high and mighty, wonderful mansion you're listening from, I want you to know whichever divide you find yourself, none of those things reflect the true color or the true character of who you are. You are much, much more than where you are watching from right now. Whoever you are right now, let's say, for example, you're a president of a country, because I know Dr. Ubong King has friends in many high places. A lot of great people had worked with him. He has brought so many powerful human personalities on this platform. But in any of those things, as you are possibly in your mind at the pinnacle of your career or your business, that is just the least of what you could become. The same way you can look up to the sky and you can't see a ceiling, the same way your spirit has no ceiling of what it can manifest. However, though, there's a limitation to your spirit. What is that? Limitation to your spirit? The limitation to your spirit is in this earthly body. You have a limited time for an unlimited spirit. In other words, as a matter of fact, your timeline is ticking. Your duration is getting shorter. Your spirit man, which has unlimited potential, unlimited capacity, has a limited time. So this is the time to win. This is the time to go out there. First of all, go inside of you, develop those capacities, take courses, listen to great people, find mentors, coaches, okay? Be subject yourself to a great course. Be part of a big project that inspires you, okay? Find someone whom by all means you know cannot afford to be in your presence, and reach out to those people so that they can become very grateful that they are having access to what by means of where they are, they can't reach out to that. And in that context, what you're becoming is a winner, okay? The winning edge in this context is that you're doing beyond what you believe or the society has made you believe you can do. The edge you have is that imagination to know that your spirit man is unlimited. No matter the circumstances you find yourself, no matter the pinnacle or the height you've attained, the person living inside of you has no limit. Okay? So I want to encourage you today to do 4 things for me. First of all, I want you to make a decision today that you're going to be a winner. Okay? And the edge you have is that you have an unlimited spirit. Okay? The edge you have is, in as much as you live in a world of physicality, in a physical material world, but you are a spirit that gives meaning to these things. So, and that's why the Bible says, do not conform to the world, be ye transformed in your mind. So you are not limited by your spirit, but you have a timeline that you have to do what you got to do. Okay. The second thing I want you to do, apart from making that decision to be unlimited, is to begin to engage deeper into self-reflection of finding that true calling. What is it that, if I take all the money away in the world, you still find joy doing it? If I pay you more money to do that same thing, you see the money as resources to extend the quality and the frontiers of what you love to do. Okay, so find that one thing that kicks into your gut, that gives you the passion that you enjoy to do regardless of the circumstances. In the middle of nowhere, you still find some sense of fulfillment and contentment doing that thing that you love to do. Okay, and then the third thing I want you to do is reach out to people whom you know are greater than you in their development of who they have become. Because all men are born equal, except the type of thoughts that they think. Okay, so reach out to people that you know that by reason of relationship and collaboration, they are going to stretch you to be more than where you are right now. And when you go to such people who have done well, more than you have, go with the spirit of meekness. Okay, the spirit of meekness. And sometimes I see people talk about the concept of humility, that people come with a humble spirit, be humble in towards other men. I have a differential to that. Okay, I am not a proponent of men being humble to other men. Okay, because humility in itself can only be truly a virtue when you are humble towards God. God is the only entity in the universe, in the whole world, in the whole space of time that has the capacity to take someone that is made of soil and give it life. So the word humility came from the root word humus, which is soil, which is dirt. And it's only God that can give life to that which is not alive. Okay? And then on the other hand, humility also means to talk less of the value of something. If this is gold, like I'm wearing a gold watch right now, okay? If you talk about this in the spirit of humility, you're going to say this is silver. This is gold. This is not silver. But if you ask this watch to be humble, which means you're asking this watch to be less than what it is. But I'd rather tell this gold watch not to be humble towards men, but to be meek. It means to ascertain and affirm that this is gold, but yet it's just what it is made of. It doesn't make it any better than any other metal that God has made. So humility means that you are nothing without God. But before men, you are something. You came with something from God. You came with some deposit, but you're not using that to exalt yourself above other men. Okay? So in this 2023, okay, you want to reach out to people who can help you stretch yourself. And then finally, I want you to reach out to people for the sole purpose of lifting them up. That's what Dr. Ubong King did for all of us. He poured his life into so many souls. I remember when I met him sometime in Calabar River State. And he was in my class because I was going to speak a day before him. And as soon as he walked into that class, and I asked him why, he said the only reason why he came to that class because he heard about me and he wanted to hear what this man, whom I have not seen, going to teach today, because his own subject was going to be the next day. But he, as much great as he was at the time, he was meek enough to come to my space and sit under my training and receive great wisdom. After that day, he honored me with his crest and said to all his tribes, wonderful people, all of you watching right now, and said to them, this man has unfettered access, protocol to anytime, anywhere with him. So he blessed me with his crest and gave me the rite of passage. That was a great spirit. He did not get intimidated by me, nor did he feel arrogant or egotistic to be above me. But yet, in all that he was meek enough to sit under my training. And that presence of his elevated my spirit. So I'm charging you today that you have the grace of God, you have the power of all the things that God is in you to make 2023 a year of sunshine. Go out there and win, and go out and be more a reason why somebody else has to win. I love you. I can't wait to see you guys someday coming 2024. Have a lovely day. God bless you.
See, until what you know becomes what you do, you don't know anything. Learning is an improved behavior. In other words, it's not enough to talk about all of this subject. People tell me so many things they have learned, but I don't see the evidence in their personal life. I don't see it in their business in terms of increased sales, increased customer base, increased finances in terms of more money coming into their life. 90% of the time, I see people who get result in businesses, and then something happens, they fail, and they cannot repeat the result again. Why? The laws that they obey for which the result came, they have no understanding of what those laws are. So if you don't understand the laws of something, and somehow you get result, it's possible you actually got the result because certain laws were in place and you obeyed it. But because you don't know what those laws are and how it came about.
You know, our churches in Kebu, you have church like this, you have children behind. Now we have children church. Those the children used to be behind now. And my mom used to be in the choir. She would be singing and disciplining us at the same time. Kabio, oh, see you. And then she noticed one of us misbehaving. Oh, Kabio, oh, see you. You are the God. Kabio. Remember when they used to measure our food to buy Christmas shoe? Now, my problem is not measuring the food with broom. The problem is they will measure it and still not buy our size. So what's the essence of measuring? Measure 15, buy 21. And stuff it with one whole Vanguard newspaper. Fold it in page by page into the shoe. Load it. That's why some adults, you see their steps, they are walking aimlessly. The shoe they wore as children were too heavy. And their steps were disoriented. Stop the shoe with Vanguard. Every year they remove one page. Every year they remove one page. Once you get to your size, you say, thank God, so you give your younger brother. And the journey continues. Have you imagined if Jesus had come in 2022? I know he will be on Instagram, of course. Have millions of followers. And then that day, on his way to the cross, he would have posted a selfie. Bam, and post, right, on my way to the cross to die for you. So people will comment, wow, you are my savior. You are my Lord. God bless you for me. And then while they are taking him to the cross, he will tell the soldier, give me 1 minute, let me update my followers. Cham, I'm doing this for you. He'll be commenting. And then finally they will crucify him. And then he will resurrect. And on Sunday morning, he will just post a fine selfie. Bam! And write, risen. Everybody say, wow, you said it. You're my Lord. You're my Savior. One guy will just comment, Mado. Everybody, God, thank you. Thank you for being my Savior, my Messiah. Another person will write, are you suffering from staphylococcus? Are you suffering?
Republic of Nigeria. Long live Ubong King Foundation. You may be seated, please.
I am not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep, but I'm afraid of a pack of sheep led by a lion. A lion will look at an elephant, he says, I will eat this. Because that is how he thinks. An elephant will see it and run away. It is not a function of your size, it is a function of your attitude. Where are my lions? Can I hear you say ahoo?
Welcome to Thinkation2023, and it's my pleasure to be speaking to you on the topic of beyond government, your roles and responsibilities as a leader. In our world today, it's very common to think of leadership only for those who have titles. Church leaders, government leaders, leaders in church. And in fact, the first interaction we have with leadership is usually at home, the role of the father or the mother. So we always think leadership is this very vertical thing, the person who is talking down to us or giving us instructions. When we move away from home, we move, let's say, into a more social space, schools, the headmaster, headmistress, those are the leaders, the teachers. And then we move into the workplace, heads of departments, CEOs. Again, we keep associating leadership with titles. And so by the time we get into the even wider space of traditional authority, chiefs, princesses, and then government, we still associate leadership with titles, and of course, with titles come privileges, benefits, VIP perks, and financial wealth. I think that this concept of leadership is flawed. We must all begin to see ourselves as leaders and to understand that just like governments, we have responsibilities in our sphere of influence because we all have circles of influence. I want to speak to you today about Teta Kwashi. Teta Kwashi was a young Ghanaian who lived, he was not Ghanaian, a young Gold Coaster because he existed before the nation Ghana. Teta Kwashi was born in 1842 to parents who were not well known in society. His father was a farmer from Teshe in Ghana and his mother from Labadi. In his teens, Teta Kwashi became an apprentice blacksmith in a Basel mission workshop. You know, the Basel churches were very strong in Ghana. They were one of the early bringers of Christianity to Ghana. Teta Kwashi proved to be a very hardworking young man, and soon he became a master blacksmith and was in fact the first blacksmith to be established in a part of Ghana called Ekwaping Mampong. Alongside being a blacksmith, his hobby was also farming. Now remember that he was born in 1842. In 1870, Teta Kwashi, very young age, traveled to a place called Fernando Po. It's now called Bioko in Equatorial Guinea. He spent 6 years in Equatorial Guinea. And when he was returning to Gold Coast, I keep saying Ghana, but Gold Coast, he returned with several cocoa beans. This is the history of the cocoa industry in Ghana. When he came back from Equatorial Guinea, he shared some of these cocoa beans he had brought with his friends and family. And in 1879, he planted some of the seeds at Mampong, a part of Ghana, with some success. His friends and relatives that he had given the cocoa seeds to also undertook planting the cocoa pods and distributed them as well. Soon, other farmers started planting the cocoa beans. At this point, the Basel missionaries realized something big was going on here, and they started importing large quantities of the crop into Ghana, into the Gold Coast. From this point, beans or cuttings were sent to other countries in West Africa, such as Nigeria and Sierra Leone. And in 1891, Ghana officially started exporting cocoa These seeds were sent to Nigeria and Sierra Leone, and in 1893, Ghana officially exported 2 bags of cocoa. This is the history of cocoa in Ghana, and we all know that now Ghana is known as the number 2, the second highest producer of cocoa globally. It all started with the actions of one man. Ghana earns millions of dollars every year from cocoa. It is estimated that we have between 800,000 and 1 million farmers, cocoa farmers in Ghana. That is one crop brought in by one person. It's given employment to over 1 million people currently. Now count the millions who have been employed in the cocoa industry from the time he brought cocoa into Ghana. We have chocolate, we have cocoa buying companies. We have Cocoa Board, the official exporter of cocoa in Ghana. And we have local produce buying companies. We have companies that process the cocoa beans into other cocoa products before they export. Think of the hundreds and possibly hundreds of thousands of jobs that Tete Kwashi alone created since he brought the first cocoa beans into Ghana. Ghana also has cocoa scholarships, which we give to cocoa farmers, the children of cocoa farmers and other indigent children, which enables them to get an education. We have so many people employed today in the cocoa industry, making chocolate, making soap, making cocoa butter, so many products, all from the actions of one man. This is leadership. This shows you the power of one. What one person who is committed, who is invested in his community, who has passion in the community, can do to improve the lives of his community and the people of his nation. Tete Kwashi never had any political title. He was never elected or appointed into any office. But I believe that Tete Kwashi has made probably the most impact, positive impact to the country Ghana, beyond all the people who have held offices or who have been called chiefs or other political titles. Recently, I stumbled on a young man in Ghana who is a teacher, primary school teacher in a very poor area of Ghana. I do not have his permission, so I do not want to state his name. Now, this young man, I've noticed, applies a lot of passion to the children he's teaching. His Facebook followers even know the names of some of the children in his class, the naughty ones, the diligent ones, and he keeps us updated of their antics and what they are doing even over the holidays. He also raises money to support children who need books, children who cannot afford maybe school supplies. This is going beyond the call of his duty. He has no title, but in my eyes, he is a leader who is taking on the roles and responsibilities of serving his society beyond his government. Last week, he launched a drive to raise money to build a library in the school where he's teaching. This for me is leadership. And this for me shows that you can really go beyond yourself. You can go without a title and you can serve your community. It is the power of one. The question today is, what are you willing to do for your community? Do you recognize that you are a leader? You may not have any fancy title, you may not have financial wealth, but you are a leader. There are people within your community, within your circle that you can serve. From the stories of Tete Kwashi and this young teacher, I think there are a few lessons we can distill. Leaders are people who care about their community. You must be passionate about your community. Leaders are people who have capacity. Tete Kwashi was a blacksmith. The young man is a teacher, and they use whatever skills they have and capacity to build on other capacities, and then they develop their communities. Leaders must have courage. You must have courage to take the first step. You must have courage to start doing something for the community, no matter how small it is. You need courage, you need capacity, you need to serve your community. Possibly the fourth thing I want to mention is that leaders need character. You must be guided by values that you have defined. What are your values? What are you doing the things you're doing? What is the why? What propels you to do the things that you're doing? There must be your values that guide you, kind of like your compass. And then you must know the ultimate reason why you're doing it, to serve the community. Tete Kwashi could have brought those cocoa beans and decided to keep it on his farm and just grow it and not share it with anybody. It would not have had the impact that it had. I think that if we all adopt this, and start looking around us. There's always something we can do in our community that can impact the larger good. When Tata Kwashi brought the first few cocoa beans to Ghana, he could not have imagined the impact he's had for generations. But today, every time I remember Tata Kwashi, I thank God for him, and I thank God twice, because I think he's done incredibly well for the nation Ghana. So go out there today, be inspired by the story of Tata Kwashi, and see what little good you can do in your community, and God will bless that good and will turn it into something big. If we all do a little, we can all do a lot. So together, let's serve our communities and let's take on the title of leader. Thank you.
Oh, why don't you gawk yourself? Sell your vote, you don't sell your future, but that sell your birthright. How much self? Divide them by 4 years. How much with that? No sell your vote, oh. No matter the thing them they tell you. No matter how the thing they do you. No matter how much money them they give you. No sell your photo. No need to fight, oh. Because your picking no go join you. They go, they won't corner, they laugh you. Oh, don't sell your photo.
Hello. This is Mark Idiahi, and I want to believe that you're having a tremendous time already at this conference. In the year 2015, Nigerian witnessed an all-time voters' apathy, and that was because most Nigerians didn't believe that their vote could count, and the politicians play a very critical role in that regard. Hence, they didn't come out. A lot of people didn't want to get involved in the process. But never in the history of this country have we witnessed this level of enthusiasm. Most Nigerians are so optimistic, knowing that they finally have an opportunity to foster the kind of change, the genuine change that they so desire. It is on this premise that I want to appeal to you not to trade your votes for anything. Now, I was going to say don't trade your conscience, but I've also found that a lot of taxable grown-up adults have already traded their conscience. Now, if you're listening to me, I'm talking to you. You cannot allow the pressure, the temporary pressure, to make you sell your vote or to vote for the candidate you know does not have the requisite skill, the capacity to navigate us from this deplorable state we are in as a nation. And again, this is not the time to sit on the fence and just wish that things will turn right.
Shine your eye, well. Don't let anybody deceive you. Don't let them take your vote from you. Now your future be that, yeah. Now your future be that, yeah. Oh, yeah. Together we can make Nigeria better. Oh, yeah. One vote. We can make Nigeria better. Oh, yeah.
No sell your vote, oh. No sell your vote. No matter the thing them they tell you. Decision be that. No matter how the thing they do you. No matter how much money them they give you. No sell your vote.
Okay, banya karu. Hey, have a quality. I beg you photo. Time don't come again, no. Them done they show their face, so no sell your right, so now follow them fight, so it's over to you, so not fear, speak up, you yo. So ginger, don't let anybody spoil them for you. The power is in you, no sell ammo for money, no sell your boat, your right, your hoe for fufu.
Ya kare duk wani tanadin ku sun shashare hankalin ku kar ya bace gaba tafi bayewa taimaki kanka taimaki kanki ni rayuwa da inganci. No need to fight, oh. Because your picking no go join you. They won't corner, they laugh you. Oh, don't sell your food for your bad.
Don't be deterred by anything. If we're going to get it right, it will cost us something. We have to come out and be willing to do what we have to do so that together we can foster the change and bet a nation that we can collectively be proud of. I'm so happy and excited that we'll get it right this time. Get involved and let's do it together as one. God bless you.
So we go come to work together. We go decide our future.
Oh, no matter where you come from, we're part of a great nation. That's so. Everyone sing with me, yeah. From the hilltops of Obudu and then Ubu, from the plateaus of Jos and Taraba, from the food baskets of Cocoa and Otubo, yeah, to the smiling, shining sun in Sokoto, we go Boto. From Ondo to Jeba, we go Boto. From Port Harcourt to Kaduna, yeah, till no one is left behind. Nigeria is yours and mine.
Together, with each other. Votes are only with your PVC, man. Thank you very much. Thank you.
A Chinese man shouldn't insult me in Africa. No. When the male lion goes, rogue lions take over. The responsibility of the cub is to learn, to sit down and watch how the father eats, how the mother talks. There is no way they will kill an animal and then the cub goes to eat first. They never born that cub. It will wait for the father to eat. Then the mother will eat. We need to tell our children the truth. That the pain that I have on my leg is because I was working for you. That wound on your leg, let them understand that there is a price you are paying for them to go to school. Tell them the truth, because if you don't, they become endangered.
Hi, my name is Cass Boy, the human service provider, and this is Thinkation2023. So please stay tuned. Do not miss any part of this conference because it's going to bless you and uplift you in the cardiovascular equitability of strategical efficacy. There are a lot of amazing speakers who will be speaking to us. So stay tuned. Do not miss any part of it. It is Thinkation2023.
Hello out there and Happy New Year to you all. Welcome to Thinkation 2023. I want to especially thank God for the Ubong King Foundation and all those that are behind the foundation for keeping legacy alive. And I believe very strongly that all our participants and viewers for this year will tremendously experience a year like no other. When we look at our nation and our world today, one of the major challenges that we have is youth unemployment and underemployment. And it's very, very important for us to be able to see how we can ensure that every one of us is better positioned for economic empowerment and sustainability. So I'm going to be sharing a few thoughts with you just to be able to steer up your mind and position you for this year 2023. The first thing you need to understand is that over 80% of the populace in our nation, Nigeria, today are below the age of 35. And the same thing is recorded on the continent. So on the continent of Africa, over 70% of people on the African continent are below the age of 35. So it therefore means that we are a nation of young people. We are a continent of young people. And for every one of us to be able to be the best version of ourselves and fulfill our possibilities, we need to be empowered. But the first thing I want to talk about is the need for us to be rightly educated. Because I've come to realize that when it comes to the world of education, there are three groups of people when it comes to education. Number one, we have those that are uneducated. Now, the uneducated ones are those that are not educated because of the fact that they have not been able to go through a process of academic education, go through the four walls of an institution to be able to understand things the way educated people do. And for those people, they need to understand that there is a dimension of education that they still need to have in order for them to be able to come into a place of economic empowerment and sustainability. Well, the second set of people we have are those that are educated. And education is powerful. And these ones that are educated are called educated because they've gone through the four walls of an institution. That's good. That's okay. But that's not all that there is to be, and that's not all that you need if you are going to be fully empowered for economic sustainability. Because, you see, when it comes to academic education, there is a limit to what academic education can do. Academic education does four major things. It helps you to read, it helps you to write, it helps you to do mathematics or arithmetics, so you can do calculation, and it gives you the ability to think analytically. But have you come to realize that most of the people that are academically educated are still not economically empowered? Why? Because academic education does not translate to economic empowerment, or else the professor of economics will be the richest man in the world. All the dean of faculty of econs and all the people that teach you economics on campus, they will have become the one that will be able to help you to understand what it means to be wealthy, but they are not. Why? Because academic education does not translate to economic empowerment. Having PhD in swimming technology does not make you a swimmer. There are people that have gone to school, they have BSc in business administration, yet they cannot run a barbing salon successfully, they can't run a restaurant successfully, they can't run a boutique successfully. Why? Because they understand the theory, but they don't understand the practicalities of being able to create wealth. But you see, there's a third dimension of people when it comes to education, and those are the ones that are miseducated. So you are either educated, uneducated, or miseducated. And the major challenge we have, which is one of the major fuels of youth unemployment, is what I call the miseducation of the populace, or the miseducation of the masses. A lot of people are miseducated. So you can be educated, yet miseducated, because all you have is just a dimension of education and not the full dimension of education. In my book, The School of Money, which is called The Bible of Wealth Creation, it's a book that teaches you how to make, manage, and multiply your money, and also serves as a blueprint for entrepreneurs. So if you are listening to me right now anywhere in the world and you don't have a copy of that book, you need to get a copy of The School of Money. It's the Bible of wealth creation. It's a blueprint for the rising and the raising and the releasing of a new breed of entrepreneurs. You can get the book by going to www.olumideemmanuel.org, and then you can contact my office for that. So in the book, I spoke about the 7-star education. I spoke about redefining education, because when we talk about miseducation, when you are not given the full story, it's called miseducation. When you are made to believe that what you need is ABC, when there is EFD, that is miseducation. So you need to understand that when we talk about miseducation, when you are made to believe that in order for you to become wealthy, you go to school, get good grades, get a job, and you become wealthy, without being made to know that there are other options, that's miseducation. So a lot of people have been miseducated, because if you are going to become successful and be fully empowered, there are 5 dimensions of education that you need to have. 5 dimensions of education that you need to have. Number 1, you need to have personal education. So if you are listening to me right now, you're a young man, you're a young woman, do you understand yourself? Do you know your strengths? Do you know what your weaknesses? Do you know your likes? Do you know your dislikes? Do you really have understanding of yourself? Because when it comes to self, there is the known self, there is the unknown self, there is the hidden self, there is the blind self. So there is a dimension of you that only other people see that you don't see. So number 1, you need personal education. You need to spend time to understand yourself so that you will know who you are. You know your likes, your dislikes, you know your temperament, you understand all the different strengths and weaknesses that you have, so that you can be able to properly manage yourself for effectiveness in today's marketplace. Number 2, you need academic education. Now, I've spoken extensively about that, so I won't repeat that again. You need academic education. Now, you see, when it comes to wealth creation, Academic education is not enough for wealth creation and economic empowerment, but it still has its place. Because at least to be able to count money, you need to know how to do mathematics so that you will not be deceived, so that you know that 10 plus 10 equals to 20. You still need to be able to read so that you can be able to write, sign your check and read things before you enter your code. So you still need a level of academic education. And that's very, very important. Number 3, you need what I call marketplace education. You see, whenever you see an advert that says, vacancy, every vacancy is a cry for help. So when you see an advert that talks about the vacancy and they say we need somebody that has BSc in accounting. Now when they say they need someone that has BSc in accounting, that's academic education. And they now say with 3 years experience or 3 years industry experience. When you see those 3 years experience, that is talking about marketplace education. Because it's not just enough for you to have academic education. You have to understand how things operate in the marketplace. You have to understand how things work. So you see a lot of people, they have the good grades, they have the good certificate, they understand themselves, but because they don't understand the way the marketplace works, when they get into the marketplace, they fail because they don't understand teamwork. They don't understand the place of policy, loyalty, submission to authority. They don't understand reporting. They don't understand promptness to tasks. They don't understand a lot of things. So when they get into the marketplace, they're like, I didn't know how to go through all this because they didn't have that third dimension of education. Number 4, you need spiritual education. Listen and listen well. Everything you see in your world today is controlled by things that you do not see. Before I speak, I think. What I say is a result of what I've thought. My thinking is invisible. My words are audible to you to hear. Before you can see a house, there's a design. The design is put on paper as an architectural design. And then the architectural design is developed and turned into a building. So every building you see was once a design in the mind of people. So you need to understand that the spiritual controls the physical. The spiritual realm is the realm where events occur before they happen. So before anything happens in the natural or in the physical, it first of all has its occurrence in the realm of the spirit. So you need to understand spiritual education to know that everything in this world is controlled from the spirit realm. So if you are going to succeed in today's marketplace, you are either in the secret cult or you are in the secret place. There is no middle ground. So if you are going to succeed in today's marketplace, you are either in the secret cult or you are in the secret place. There is no middle ground. The problem with a lot of people is that they are not in the secret cult, they are not in the secret place. So when they take the roll call in the secret cult, you are absent. When they take the roll call in the secret place, you are absent. So you need to have spiritual education. But number 5, you also need to have financial education. Now, financial education is the ability to understand money. Is to know how to make, manage, and multiply money. Is to understand income and expenditure. Is to understand cash flow, compound interest. Is to understand asset and liability. Is to understand everything about money. Because see, when you don't understand money, how can money gravitate towards you? When you hear that someone is a money magnet, it's because they understand money. Because the more you learn, the more you earn. Your learning capacity determines your earning capacity. So if you want to become all that you need to be and to be fully economically empowered for sustainability, you need financial education. But you see, the amazing thing is that schools don't teach financial intelligence. Yes. So you can see a lot of people that have gone to school, yet they don't have financial intelligence because they did not go through financial education. So financial education does not come through the 4 walls of an institution. Financial education is a function of personal development. It's a function of personal development. It's you making up your mind that I want to understand this thing called money. I want to understand it. You see, I'm always amazed how a lot of people wake up very early in the morning. They go out there looking for money. They want to blow. They want to make money. But the same sort of people that wake up very early in the morning looking for money are not also willing to take time out to learn about money. Because you need to understand that what you learn is what determines what you earn. And that's why I appreciate every one of you that have joined us today. And I appreciate the Ubong King Foundation for putting this together so that you can learn and they can bring different speakers to help you to learn so that you can be equipped to be empowered for sustainability. You know why? You see, one of the things I've come to realize is that when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. And that's why sometimes I have a lot of reservation for all these free things. Just making things free. Sometimes it can backfire because when people don't pay, they just feel that, oh, it's free knowledge, it's free information. So once you understand the holistic dimension to education and then you now become educated, then you'll be better positioned to go forth and begin to excel. So in beginning to wrap up, let me now begin to talk to you about the importance of what I call the learn to earn and potential development education. Now, learn to earn. Listen and listen well. Thank God for academic education. Thank God for all the different kinds of education that we have spoken about. But you see, we live in a world now where you need to make sure that whatever you are learning is something that can equip you to earn. So I call it the learn to earn education strategy. Instead of you spending 4 years to go and study what you don't need. Because one thing you need to understand is that when you enter into school today, year 1, by the time you graduate 4 years later, you are going to be graduating in a different world. So the world that existed when you entered year 1 will no more exist by the time you graduate in year 4, year 5. So you find that over 80% of what is taught in school is useless after graduation. So when you go to school, over 80% of what they teach you, by the time you graduate, you don't need it. So you now find that you are stranded. That's why we have a lot of people that have gone to school. They have certificate, but they are not certified for marketplace dominance. They are not certified for real life. So you have BSc in business administration, or you have BSc in agric econs, and you can't do farming. I had a young man that sent me an email a while ago when we had this bank consolidation that had to cause a lot of people to exit. And this guy was 31 years old, and he was calling me, emailing me, oh, sir, I need your help, I'm confused, I don't know what to do. What was the problem? He had been working in the banking sector for 7 years. And he said that he got to the office and he has been let go, and I don't know what to do. All I have is 2 million. What am I going to do? All I have is 2 million. You know, I studied agric econs, and now, so I started wondering, you studied agric econs, you went into banking sector. What does agric econs what has it got to do with banking sector? That's the problem with the miseducation of the masses. When you finish agric econs, you're supposed to go into farming or go into any aspect of the value chain of agriculture. But because he went to school to study academic education and he was miseducated to think that after school he should go and look for a job, he ended up in the bank. Now a 31-year-old man with 2 million naira with a degree in agric econs is confused. Can you see the real problem now? When there are farmers that don't even have 300,000 and they have a whole plot of land, with 2 million, he could have leased 5 acres of land. If you don't even need 5, what are you talking? There are places today, at least me, I'm in the southwest, in this Ogun states or Osun states or your states, there are places where for 1 acre of land, all you need is 200,000. You can even get it less to lease. So you can get 5 acres of land for less than $1 million and begin to farm. He can go into all kinds of value chain. He can go into processing. He can go into poultry. He can go into fishery. There's so much he can do, but because he went to school for academic education and he does not have financial intelligence, because he's part of those that are educated but miseducated, he has 2 million, yet he's complaining. Some of you listen to me right now. If they give you 2 million, you go complain. If you see 2 million now, you know know what to do with them. But because he was in the bank, counting other people's money, because when he has spent his time in what I call monolithic thinking. He was busy counting other people's money for 7 years without understanding how to be able to have his own. And that became a problem. So you need to understand that you need to begin to focus on what I call learn to earn. What are the differences? There are a lot of short courses. You can even do a lot now and be earning in dollars. You can be in Nigeria, stay local, and you are earning globally. Because learn to earn is what you need to begin to look into now. Number 2, as I close, is you need to look into potential maximization level. What is your potential? What is your gift? What is your talent? Whatever gift you have, whatever talent you have, whatever potential you have, you need to now begin to look into how you can develop it so that you can deploy it for wealth. Fishes don't struggle to swim, birds don't struggle to fly. There is something on the inside of you. Everything that the spider needs to spin a web is inside the spider. Your gold is tied to your gifts. Your treasure is tied to your talent. Your profit is tied to your potential. So as you are listening to me right now, there is a gift inside you. That gifting, that talent, that potential, this year is the year for you to think. That's why we call it thinkation. For you to think. We are helping you to think and to be educated so that your mind will be educated to produce results this year, because you need to rise and you need to shine. So you need to begin to look at those potentials that you have and begin to look into how can I develop it. So explore every opportunity to develop what you have so that you can now deploy it and be a part of those that will testify of transformation and productivity this year. One of the major things that will help you to be able to develop what you have is mentorship. I want you to say it wherever I say mentorship. Yes, say it again. Mentorship. You need to be mentored. I've seen a lot of people read books, go for seminars, go for all kinds of conferences, yet they are not succeeding. They are not successful. Why? Because every time they read, especially books that are written by foreigners, when they read all these books, they are not able to translate it into action. And when they hit a snag on the road, they are not able to know what to do because they are not well mentored. And I would like you to know that this year, 2023, you will arise, you will shine. You will be the best version of yourself. You will fulfill your possibilities, and you will become a testimony and an answer to your world, because money flows in exchange for value. And you will arise into a place of value. You will meet needs. You will answer questions. You will solve problems. And at the end of this year, you will have a testimony to share. I look forward to seeing you at the top. Thank you once again for the Ubong King Foundation and everyone behind this wonderful platform. I'm going to see you at the top. So if you meet me anywhere, remind me and let me know you were part of Thinkation 2023. Take care of yourself. Keep your dream alive. Bye for now.
Understanding business and structure from the Bible. Minimum number of businesses Ubong King should have is 4. Minimum.
Initiating satellite scan.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Thinkation 2023. My name is Forever. I'm a comedian, and you know, of course, the world is now in a media space. So you see me right in front of you in spirit, but not in person. Anyways, my name is Forever. Like I said, I'm a comedian, and I'm happy that I can reach you wherever you are. Some years ago, this thing, you watching me and not seeing me, I'm talking to you, was termed witchcraft. You have to go to a babalawo somewhere in the bush. They will not conjure on a mirror. You someone will not appear. Wow! They will not carry on their activities. But over the years, technology have shown that what babalawo people were using since is either Skype or Zoom. Anyways, this one is through projector screen. You're watching it. So we are the current day Gen Z scientific babalawos, wherever you are. So if you are doing WhatsApp video call, you are babalawo. Things are changing. That is a clear sign that the world has moved on. In fact, when we're growing up, you hear proverbs like, what an elder will see sitting down. If a young man climbs a tree, he cannot see it. Ladies and gentlemen, our proverb has changed, because right now, what an elder sees sitting down is online. A young man is with Google it. Things have moved. Things have changed. In those days, they told us that the downfall of a man is not the end of his life. Ladies and gentlemen, it depends on where you fall from. If you fall from the top of Burj Arab in Dubai, before you get to the floor, you'll be hearing songs like, this world is not my home, I'm just passing by. That's when the earth will not be like a bus stop for you. Growing up, they told us that he who says his mother would not sleep, he too would not sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, our proverb have changed, because currently, he who says his mother will not sleep, they will hand you over to nanny. Your mother will sleep and leave you, you will be with nanny. Whenever you want to sleep, you sleep. They told us too when I was growing up that if you see yourself eating in a dream, it means you are possessed. Lies. Ladies and gentlemen, me that you are seeing here, I ate so much in my dream to the point that I was even owning in a restaurant. So whenever I sleep, I don't pass that street, because people will hold me to pay and I will wake up on time. They will not think that forever has died. Whereas it's more of 400 I'm arguing. I'm not owing, you are owing. I'm not owing, you are owing. If you see yourself eating a dream, you are not possessed. You are just hungry. Wake up and chop, or else you will chop in your dream. Anyways, whether you like it or not, there is only one thing that happens in your dream that happens in real life. I don't care who you are, what you've achieved in life, your status in society. Any day you dream that you're urinating, please wake up. Because it means that in real life, you are urinating. You not dream that you are bathing under shower. That means the urine is going up and coming down. Or you dream that you are swimming in swimming pool. Your mattress have soaked. Your mattress is soaked. Just wake up, take it outside. All right. You know, the theme for Thinkation 2023 is the winning edge. Everybody has a winning edge. For me, the winning edge was me relocating from Enugu to Lagos. And when I moved to Lagos, I thought that it was going to be a landslide victory, it was going to be easy. I did not know that the challenges waiting for me were tougher than what I expected. As a matter of fact, the bus I entered from Enugu to Lagos charged me 3,000 naira. When I got to Lagos after 8 hours, passing through 7 states, I asked a cabman to take me to my house where I would stay. The cabman told me 3,200. I said, sir, hold on. I just used 3,000 to pass through 7 states. In this Lagos alone, you are charging me 3,200. And the man asked me a question. When you entered Lagos, did you see Welcome to Lagos? I said, no. He said, what did you see? I said, sir, I saw this is Lagos. He said, this is it. Ladies and gentlemen, I stayed in Lagos and today I'm a winner. In other words, your winning edge might be a challenge. Hold on, and you will win. Yes, my name is Forever. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of Thinkation 2023.
Truthfully, talking about my story, I'm simply a product of graces. It was in 2019 at From Rags to Riches that I met with Dr. Ubong King in his hotel after the program, and I remember I brought him a gift, and then he would ask me, I just came to say thank you for the impact in my life, you know, in Thinkation 2018 and following his teachings all the way. Honestly, I didn't have anything in mind, just wanted to establish a relationship and say thank you. And then I remember he asked me to sit by his side in the bed, and he asked me, what do you want? Honestly, I was blank. And then he spoke and he said, the favor upon my life, I put it upon you. And he said the whole number of things, but that's the remarkable one I remember. I said, the favor upon my life, and all the places I have gone to, I put it upon you. And I remember I exclaimed amen, because I truly believe. Truthfully, that began a relationship that led to a whole lot of things now. Sometime in 2020, I think that was during the Easter period, Doctor called me up and said he would like to do an Instagram live with me. And then before the time, nobody knew who I was. The Mr. Ken brand, nobody knew the face behind the brand. A lot of them thought I was this very old man because of the Mr. Ken. And somehow, when I speak with people, it's just a grace that I sound older than my age. So I was worried because I felt that when people see my face, they will say, is it this small boy we've been talking with? But I was shocked by the reaction of the video, that after the video, people who I felt respected me, they didn't respect me any less. They actually did respect me more. And what that interview session did for me was to bring me to the limelight to a reasonable extent, that people were able to put a face to the name. And then people who didn't trust the brand because they didn't know the name were now able to trust the brand, right? So he did a lot for me. That after that, he gave me some level of counsel on how to be able to manage the excess orders and everything. And that was what brought us to Enugu in 2020, because the store at the market was no longer able to process our orders at the time. I mean, myself was in the business, my brothers also joined me in the business, and then the store was not able to serve our customers adequately. In that 2020, we thought about expanding, and then the Holy Spirit said, move to Enugu. And that was how we opened up the facility in Enugu, and it became a footstone for every other person to begin to open and branch out to different states of the country. That was it for us. In 2021, we were able to put up systems, as Dr. Ubong King advised, put up systems that make that I was no longer the one who is going to interact with the customer, take the order, process, and dispatch. We now have people from the point of confirming availability, to the point of taking order, to the point of processing order, to the point of dispatching order, to the point of follow-up. We now have a structure that now help me as well to be able to think outside the box.
Lagos, raise yourself. A new city is coming. A city bigger than you have ever seen. A city that offers a variety of commercial and residential products designed to suit your needs. This is Iconic City, located in Ekpe, Lagos State. The Iconic City is Africa's biggest family entertainment city. Our state-of-the-art architecture, breathtaking interiors, and overwhelming sense of refined living makes this city a desired place to live in. Iconic City offers a lifestyle that allows residents to prosper while also providing valuable investment opportunities. There is a plethora of facilities for everyone here at Iconic City. From the theme park to water fountain to our resort home, this city hosts a fine selection of modern amenities that makes it a joy to return home. Access to our country club, hotel, tech valley, water park, event center, shopping mall, golf range, and helipad makes this city the best place to live, work, and thrive. Our artificial park and green areas offer residents a chance to connect with nature and promote healthy living. Iconic City is the future, heralding a new dawn of urban living.
Hello everyone, my name is Mujulu Adishna. I am 14 years old. I am an author, a digital artist, a spoken word artist, and a programmer.
Hello everyone, my name is Kamsi Chima and I'm 13 years old. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to be speaking here today.
Circumstances come no matter what you do, and there are many ways to solve them. Breaking out of normalcy is studying great people, acting like them, and thinking like them. Breaking out of normalcy is also doing what you love doing and doing excellently well at it.
So, it's all about the fact that adults in my life have given me that push and showed me that I can be great, that I can be better than just average. They gave me the push and they gave me the motivation, the inspiration to take it up from there. They helped me to become more independent. So I was able to give myself, to learn to give myself that push and know that I can be greater than just what average is. I can be greater than, I can be better than what society expects me to be. So that's how I was able to break out of normalcy and challenge the status quo. So
challenging the status quo has a lot of benefits, but one of them is it innovates and drives progress because the more you fail, the more success approaches. Challenging my status quo has affected me positively. For example, in creating a game, you have a problem with a particular code and you fix it.
If we as young people don't begin to challenge the status quo now, don't begin to try and break out of normalcy, then we never will, and if we don't, we'll never be more than average and we'll never be more than what society expects us to be. And if we are nothing more than what society expects us to be, then we'll just be another one in the crowd and we'll never be able to do something exceptional or do something impactful in our world. Society has a way of just making us laid back and making us mediocres, and that's why we need to break out of normalcy.
Challenging the status quo is not an easy task, but with a lot of rest and relaxing the brain helps the brain understand the problem and find a way to fix that problem.
I think that the reason I'm able to start challenging the status quo already and I'm able to maintain it is because I've been taught habits from a young age, and those habits are things that are sticking with me till this day, which is why I'm able to do well and become more than average. Habits like being able to get up and go, being able to know what I have to do and start doing it. Things, executive functioning skills like time management that I'm still working on upon others. These habits are things that have become a part of me, and even though for some of them, like time management, I haven't fully mastered yet, I'm still working hard at it, and because I know it has influenced some of my decisions to some extent.
I've never encountered any bias that has hampered my transformation process.
Some of the biases that I faced in my journey is people telling me that I'm doing too much. At times, for my peers who know about what I do, some of them give me accolades, but some of them in the past have put me down about it because it has caused me sometimes to just not go and do some of the things that they would do. But because I know better and I know what I have to do, I've been able to view it from the point of view that it's not worth it. Why would I mess myself up because of something like this, something that I can have later?
Hello, Thinkation Nation. How are you all doing today? I am super excited to be here today, and I would like to thank the Ubong King Foundation for finding me worthy of sharing some thinking education with you all today. Now, late Dr. Ubong King was a dear friend of mine, and his ability to have established such an exceptional leadership, which is still resounding now even amongst us, is quite an achievement. And I commend, Mrs. Ivy King for effortlessly handling the torch that's been passed over to her and continuing this race. And it is my prayer that this wonderful foundation will be a lasting legacy for many more generations to come. All right, so my topic for today is Live to Win in Troubled Waters, Exceptional Leadership that is Transgenerational. In other words, how do you excel in these times in such a way that is impactful to your generation and across other generations? See, history is rife with stories of individuals who exemplified exceptional leadership, that we're still talking about them even till today. And I can tell you these people had one thing in common, and that is they went through troubled waters. So think about anyone who was like a great leader, and we're still talking about them today. They went through troubled waters, and that is the reason why we still talk about them and their leadership today. Think about it. Is it Nelson Mandela? For example, he was in prison for like 27 years. How do you keep hope alive for that long? And even when he came out, he was able to steer South Africa successfully through their troubled waters. What about Martin Luther King in the US, who fought for civil rights of Black people in the United States at the time? Talk about living to win in troubled waters. I mean, his leadership cause actually claimed his life. But today, many Africans, like, myself, yourself, whoever travels to the US as Africans or as Black people, we're enjoying, his leadership that he gave in that time and the sacrifices that he made himself and other African-American leaders. And we still talk about that even till today. A more contemporary example is Barack Obama. And yes, Barack Obama successfully became the first Black president in the United States. But can you imagine the amount of fights that he had to overcome? I mean, just for him to get that. So I can tell you one thing, that all these people, right, who are great, exceptional leaders, all have one thing in common. They went through significant adversity and they lived to win, and their stories are being told for generations. Now, the truth is, greatness is birth in adversity. I need you to write that down, okay? Greatness is birth in adversity. Exceptional leaders are birthed in troubled waters. Now, if you're going through any kind of hardship right now, I'd like to congratulate you, okay? You're like, I don't need congratulations, give me money. I know, but guess what? Congratulations, because you're being granted an opportunity to become a winner, to emerge, to grow, and to make your mark and make your name in the society. All right. Now, you know, I served in the U.S. Air Force, and the truth is, as a young person, when you decide that you want to join the military, the military, the organization is so happy. They will take you and they put you through the ringer. They're going to put you through pain. They will put you through hardship. They push your limits. They throw you inside the proverbial troubled waters. Sometimes it's literal troubled waters, okay? And you're required to survive. And if they have to come and save you, if they have to come, you know, help you survive, you're out, okay? So the greatness, again, is birth in that adversity. The military gets it, and that's the reason why they throw you into this adversity, because they know that that is when the true strength of a soldier shows up. Now, I know many of you are thinking, yeah, well, Tanwa, good for you. That's you. You decided to put yourself through troubled waters. But what about some of us who are born into this hardship? We don't have the luxury of even being in a foreign military. You know, we don't even have access to any connected people, because even if I want to serve here, you know, you have to know people. We don't have that. I don't have resources. Things are tight. How am I supposed to keep going? How am I supposed to thrive? I mean, barely surviving. Listen, don't be fooled. In this life, everyone pays their dues. You know, I heard the story of Mrs. Alakija. I know today we all know about her glory. She's one of Africa's richest women. You know, we see her glory today, but the truth is her story was decades in the making. You know, she and her husband faced immense adversity over the oil asset that had been given. So for those of you who don't know, she was pretty much gifted an oil asset that the government at the time thought, oh, it's so useless. Like, there's absolutely nothing there. Here you go, take some swamp. But she never gave up on that asset. And so they kept going, you know, knocking on different doors and gates, trying to figure out who would help them actually harness the resources that were in this asset. So finally, they found a company that said, okay, sure, fine, we'll help you out. And when they checked, they realized, oh, this oil asset has quite a lot of profits inside it. And so when everybody realized just how substantial it was, all of a sudden, the government wanted that asset back. So we're talking about decades that they went through in this battle back and forth, all right? Some of you have only been going through your hardship for like, what, 2 years, 3 years? Okay, fine. Maybe 8 years since, you know, this new administration started. But listen, okay, quite frankly, greatness is birth in adversity. And you must learn to get comfortable with discomfort, because it's in this moment of discomfort, it's in these moments of discomfort that greatness is birth, okay? So have you noticed, in fact, that some of the best rap music are the ones that the rappers wrote when they were struggling, right? So it's that moment of suffering that really brought about the greatness in this rapper. And then what happens is when they are now successful, they actually end up quitting rapping and they go into like fashion or owning, you know, football teams and stuff, because the rap music, the soul where it came from, that real struggle, that adversity, they don't have that anymore, and they can't even connect with their listeners anymore, okay? So today I'm going to share with you some of my top 5 strategies for winning in troubled waters and how you can possess exceptional leadership that will transcend generations, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, listen, I'm here to announce to you that there's only one way for you to win in troubled waters. You must, and this is a must, in order for you to win in troubled waters, you must see yourself winning. If you cannot see it, you will not win. You must see yourself winning. And this brings me to my number 1 strategy, and that is vision. They say a man without a vision is a man without a future. You must learn to practice visualization often. Write it, to do, practice visualization often. Actually, the truth is, most of you probably already do practice visualization, but it's for more short-term desires. So for example, if someone asks you to go on a date, you immediately start thinking of, oh my gosh, what am I going to wear? You start visualizing how you're going to look. You visualize how you're going to feel. You say, okay, I'm going to wear this tight dress because it's going to make me look really sexy. Guys, you say, okay, I'm going to wear this white shirt because it makes me look fresh and clean. You know, and then some of you even visualize like how you're going to post a reel on Instagram. You know, if it's your upcoming wedding, this is how you're going to do the one way, you know, everybody's dancing like this, you and your bridesmaids. You're visualizing these things, right? So you do already practice visualization, but what I'm saying now is that you have to use that, all right, harness that gift for you to now be able to win in troubled waters. Now, the most important thing about vision is that you tend to make your visions come true, believe it or not, okay? That is why it's very important that you have a vision. Now, I remember, for example, before I ever even bought my first car, like I was still in secondary school, and I would always envision myself, you know, driving with the windows down, blasting my music with my sunglasses, you know, with one hand and the other hand on the window and all of that, right? So for so long, this was my vision when I was younger, even before I even knew how to drive. I mean, and as you can imagine, the fact that I kept playing that vision in my head over and over again, it was a no-brainer that I grew up being someone who knows how to drive. I grew up actually getting my first car. And I remember the day I was sitting in my car with my sunglasses on, my windows down, my music turned up really loud with one hand driving. And I paused for a second. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I'd always visualized this moment and I was actually living in my vision, okay? So bottom line is that we tend to make our visions come true, which is why it's important that you must have a vision. You have to picture winning. Your vision must be you winning, you succeeding, you getting out of whatever struggles and troubles that you're in. And then you have to write it down. Now, here's my second strategy. When you allow yourself dream and visualize what you want, you have to write it down, right? Now, there's one crucial thing that you then have to do with what you've written down. You must believe it. You have to believe that you're going to see this vision in the physical. Believe that it is indeed possible. It can happen for you. Now, this is the tricky part. I'm going to be honest. Believing is where the real challenge is, because how do you believe something, especially when its attainment just seems so far away? You know, well, here's the trick. You're going to have to keep saying it. Circle that. You're going to have to keep saying it. Write it down. Say it. You have to keep saying it. You know, I've always said that I want to go for my PhD. And it's for one reason and one reason only. I want to be called doctor. I know, right? It's crazy. So I'm going to put myself through the school and everything so that I can call myself doctor. And I've been saying this over and over again. Guess what, guys? It's only a matter of time. You know me now as just Tanwa Ashuru. Follow me on any of my socials or whatever. And at some point, the day I post, the day you see me post and you write, oh, and I write something like, oh, I finally received my PhD, you know, I'm now doctor. I need you to send me a DM and say, I was in that presentation where you said it was going to happen for you. Congratulations. So, so let's have a deal, right? That this is what's going to happen. So bottom line though, is that the longer you say it, the more you'll believe it, all right? And we're really talking about strengthening your belief in your vision right now. Now, I once read a quote written by Joel Osteen, and the quote said, your life is a sum total of what you've been confessing over the years. Your life is the sum total of what you have been confessing over the years. And I remember when I saw that quote, I was like, whoa, what have I been confessing over the years? What have you been confessing over the years? I had to write that quote down and I stuck it on my mirror so that I would see it often. And each time I would see it, I would immediately change what I'm saying. I said, I would see that quote. I'm the sum total of what I've been confessing over the years. I immediately just start confessing what I want to see. Oh, I'm great. Oh my gosh, I'm so successful. I'm strong. I'm doing great things. I'm a world leader. I'm renowned. You know, my business is thriving, successful. I'm profitable. You know, so you immediately start saying what you want to see. All right, which brings me to another key point that you need to note right now. I want you to write this down. You must have an affirmation statement. Write that down. I must have an affirmation statement. In fact, circle this and write to do next to it. Now, your affirmation statement is drafted, okay, to reflect what it is that you want to see, what you want to be, you know, what you want to have, who you want to embody. All right. So it's very, very important. And it's just a statement of that. And you write it down and you read it to yourself every day. I have my personal affirmation statement that I say every single day. Let me recite it to you just so you have an example. Now, because I'm a Christian, so mine is more like faith-based. Okay, I incorporate definitely sort of a prayer, a decree and declaration into it. So, but you can write your affirmation in any way that works for you. So I have some people that just write, I'm the top 10, largest producer in my company right now, and I earn 30 million Naira every month, something like that. And that's your affirmation statement. Because the more you say it, the more you will believe it and embody it. And it's only a matter of time before you see it. So my affirmation starts with, I say, I decree and I declare today, you're anointed in the name of God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. You have the anointing of ease. You have the anointing of favor. Goodness and mercy follows you everywhere you go. You have the anointing of Solomon, wisdom, wealth, and peace. I decree and I declare today that I am blessed and I'm prosperous. I'm rich and I'm successful. I'm strong and I'm bold. I'm wise and I'm wealthy. I'm peaceful. I'm healthy. I'm focused and I'm disciplined. I know I'm talented. I'm creative. I'm confident. I'm secure. I decree today that I'm a highly, highly favored child of the Most High God. I'm strong in the Lord. I'm full of energy and my strength is being renewed. I decree and I declare that today is a great day and something amazingly wonderful is going to happen to me today. And I receive it in Jesus' name. Amen. That is my personal affirmation statement. Thank you. So imagine this, right? I remember the time I actually drafted the statement. I was nothing on that list. And then over time, I'm saying, okay, once in a while, I'll do something nice. I'm like, okay, I guess I am creative. Once in a while, I'll do something. I'm like, I finished my workout. I am disciplined. Okay. But at the time I wrote it, I was none of these things. So you must have that affirmation statement. You write it down. You tell yourself every day, I'm the top producer in my company. I'm a successful lawyer. And I close out 15 deals every single month. I'm the top largest. I'm a, son. I'm an elder statesman. Whatever it is that you're thriving, that you're pushing for, that you want to achieve, you write that down as your affirmation statement and you speak it to yourself every single day until you believe it deep down in your heart and until you even start seeing it. Okay. Trust me, the more you say it, the more you believe it, and believing is seeing. Believing is seeing. When you believe it, you'll see it. Not seeing is believing. Believing is seeing. Now, the next thing I want you to do, or the next thing you have to do then is my number 3 strategy is that you need to start taking action. You have to take the right actions that lead you towards actualizing this vision of yours. Think of your vision as like an elephant, okay? And it's an elephant and someone has said, hey, you have to eat this elephant. You think, what? Eat an elephant? How do I eat an elephant? You eat an elephant one bite at a time. So no matter your dream, your vision, your goal, you must break it down into daily activities, okay? That is how you eat it, one bite at a time. Your daily activities are one bite at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, keep it simple. Keep it simple. I believe in keeping things simple. Every day you write down simple daily activities that will lead you towards actualizing your vision and you track it. Now, say one of your goals is to look good, right? And you see yourself in this body with a 6-pack, and then you allow yourself time to visualize yourself with this 6-pack. You visualize the Instagram pictures you're going to take, the amazing clothes you're going to wear. You see yourself every day. Then after a while, you then write your affirmation statement and you start telling yourself, I am strong, I am bold, I'm beautiful, I'm flexible, and I look good in my bikini, or I look good in my wedding dress. I look great. I've lost so pounds and I love my 6-pack, right? And you tell yourself this every single day. That's number 1. Then next thing you're going to do is you're going to take action. You're going to sign up for the gym, okay? Because just speaking it is not how your 6-pack is going to appear, let's be honest, but at least it will get you taking those steps that you need to take towards achieving it. So now you go, you sign up for the gym, and then you say, okay, my goal is 5 days a week of getting my heart rate pumping for at least 1 hour. That's your goal. Remember, your goals have to be measurable. They have to be something you can measure and track. So 5 days a week, all right, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you rest Saturday and Sunday. So 5 days a week, I need to get my heart pumping for at least 1 hour. So every day, 1 hour at the gym. So that means every day you have one major goal: sweat for 1 hour in the gym, okay? And you must track it. Tracking is so important. Let me tell you why tracking is so important. I'll give you my story. Now, as you see me, so I work out hard. I really do. I mean, I hit the gym. You see me in the gym. I put it in. I put in the work, right? And then I started getting worried and even started getting a bit demoralized. I said, but I'm working out hard now. Why is it that my waist is expanding? It's to be giving me the cut that I'm looking for. So I decided, I say, no, let me track this thing properly, because I've said my goal is 5 days a week. So that means ideally I should be putting in about 20 workouts in a month. And I started tracking every day I'd work out, I put a check mark. The days I don't work out, I put an X. Do you know that after I was done, I realized that on average, I only worked out about 8 days a month. And it's supposed to be 20 days, and I'm only clocking in 8 days. Don't ask me how or why. Bottom line is, I wasn't actually making that progress I thought I was making. What would happen is I would go really hard for like 2 or 3 days, and I'll say, well, let me rest, and I'll end up taking like a 7-day rest. It's ridiculous. All right. So that's why tracking is important. It tells you that you're on track towards actually doing those things and those activities that you set out to do. So break your elephant down into small bites, track every single bite. You want to start. So say, for example, you want to start sounding like a leader, okay? What does it mean to sound like a leader? What does it mean to even be a leader? It means you're intelligent and you can answer questions intelligently. It means you're very eloquent. Your enunciations are very clear. It means that it's who you embody, even the way you dress. You wear certain outfits and people automatically respect you. And so you decide, you know what, how do I become that person? I'll tell you how. First of all, you need to start reading books, okay? You must start reading books. Remember, readers are leaders. Readers are leaders. So you tell yourself, I'm going to start reading books about leadership or books about certain leaders that I admire. And then I'll tell myself, okay, 1 book a month. All right. So I want to be better leaders. I'm going to read 1 book a month on leadership. Now, that's a big elephant. How do we break it down? 1 chapter a day. 1 chapter a day, Shikina. All right. Now, think about it. You have 30 days in a month on average, or even if you say, okay, I'm going to take 2 days break, like on the weekends, that's my rest, full Sabbath rest day. So that's at least 20 days where you can read a chapter a day. That's 20 chapters. I don't know how many books, I don't know what kind of books you're reading, but most books don't have up to 20 chapters. But even if they did, you would at least be able to complete that book. And at the end of the year, you'd have read 12. At the end of 2 years, you'd have read 24. You would be a walking, intellectual on what it means to be a leader, just from reading it and learning about leadership wisdom nuggets, okay? So now that brings me to my 4th point, and it's one of my most important points right now. I can't tell you how important it is, but it's focus. Focus. I read somewhere recently that it says attention is a new currency. And so I saw that and I was like, whoa, ain't that the truth? So I wrote it down. I put it on my mirror as well, right? Attention is a new currency - stay focused. The truth is, we're in that social media age. There's information overload. Everyone's trying to get your attention from everywhere, right? And now we all have the attention span of a baby. You know what baby's attention span is? 0 focus. They want to play with everything and achieve nothing in the end, all right? So everything is a distraction right now. Now, did you know that Bill Gates, I remember watching this Netflix interview with him, documentary rather, and Bill Gates would take time off, right, from just everything, take time off the business, from work. His secretary would just pack him a stack full of books, and he would take like 2 weeks out with no phones, no electronics, no laptop, no computer, nothing, and just go to this little shed in his hometown and sit there for 2 straight weeks just reading. He had nothing but books with him. And this is the creator of Windows. Then you last know that you are just a user of Microsoft Google document, Microsoft Docs, and you don't think that it's important for you to also tune out and switch off once in a while. It's very, very important, okay? So you have to learn to do without these social media triggers and just your phone and everything that's taking your attention away from actually focusing on tasks that need to be done, all right? So learn to do without this Instagram, without WhatsApp. Try to just do without it for hours or even for some days. Switch off and focus. The Bible says that if your eye causes you to sin, you should pluck it out. Now, don't pluck out your eyes, please. But at least if social media is causing you to sin daily, and trust me, it is, you need to delete it. You're asking me, how is it causing you to sin? Well, first of all, covetousness. Thou shalt not covet your neighbor's property. All you do on there is you're just scrolling and looking at people's lives and wanting it for yourself. I want that, I want that. And you're just putting out covetousness out there. The second thing as well is that sometimes it tampers and messes with your patience with the process. It's not yet time or your public revealing, it's not your time for your appointment. But because you're seeing other people that are already getting it, you start getting jealous inside of you. This thing is causing you to sin without you even realizing it, okay? You need to learn to delete. You need to learn to switch off and instead focus. Ask yourself, this is my vision. This is it broken down into daily activities. How can I just focus on getting it done? So what you do is you're going to write down 5 important things that you want to do in that day, okay? You switch off completely, you focus on those 5 things and make sure they're what are called income producing activities, not just busyness, okay? There's a difference between the two. Income producing is handing out flyers. Busyness is arranging your file cabinets, okay? There's a difference. So you want to make sure that you are focusing on income producing activities. It's the difference between posting. If you say, okay, I make my money on social media, I need to post. Well, post, don't just be scrolling. That's busyness. Posting is posting. It's an income producing activity. And what I would say is post and go. Time box these things, these activities. Tell yourself, you know what, I need to do, 10 posts every day. Go on there, stay focused, do your 10 posts, do your writing, and switch off and move on to something else. All right, try to time box the amount of time you're spending on distractions. So these tips I've mentioned earlier will certainly help you live a remarkable life. Remember, vision, you have to see yourself winning. Number 2, you have to have that belief, okay, that your vision can indeed come true. And you do that by speaking it, okay, and writing it down. And then when you write it down, you want to, number 3, take action on what you've written down. Remember, it's a big elephant, but you can take it one bite at a time. You can break it down into daily activities and make sure you're tracking those daily activities. And number 4, focus. There's so much distraction out there. It's important that you're able to actually focus on things that matter. Now, I will leave you with this 5th and final point here. It's do not despise humble beginnings. I need you to learn how to find peace and happiness in your moments of obscurity. Obscurity means those moments when no one knows who you are. All right. You know who you are. You know deep down that you're destined for greatness. If not, you will not be listening to this presentation right now. Okay. So you know you're destined for greatness, but the world doesn't know you yet, right? You're still pretty obscure. It's not yet time for your public revealing, but guess what? Just try and enjoy these moments. Know that your time of public revealing will come. Hold on to your vision of you winning, of your moment of winning, your vision of when you are indeed called forward to come and receive that award, or called forward to receive the degree, or you're called forward, to receive the appointment. All right. They say that luck is when opportunity meets preparation. Those moments of obscurity, those moments when no one knows who you are, those humble beginnings are actually your preparation. And it's usually inside troubled waters. Don't despise that, okay? Humble beginnings are what prepares us. Let me tell you a story that really embodies this in the Bible, and it's the story of David. Now, David in the Bible is the one who killed Goliath. Goliath was this huge giant of an opposition army, and he pretty much came to the army of David's country and was like, listen, none of y'all can beat me. I'm going to destroy all of you. And they were all shaking. David's countrymen were shaking. And then someone told David, this is what's going on. And this is the reward if you kill this guy. And David was like, yeah, I got it. I'll do it. Not a big deal. Right. And everyone's wondering, how come? The truth is that David spent many, many days in the wilderness, killing beasts, killing people like Goliath, people stronger than him, more vicious than him, beings more vicious than him. He spent days doing that, but no one ever saw it. So his preparation the entire time was in that moment in troubled waters when he would maybe get attacked or his flock was about to get attacked, and he was getting prepared. No one witnessed his great failures. No one witnessed his great victories in the fields. Many days were boring and mundane. He spent many days learning. That's probably why he had to learn how to make catapults. He was probably so bored, right? It's like, let me learn all these wolves. It's not every time I want to be chasing wolves or the wolves chasing me. And I know they keep coming for my sheep. So let me learn how to make a projectile device that can just take them out from afar so that I don't have to actually fight them, And so he learned from that the physics of making really good catapults. He would pick rocks, maybe started with smaller targets at some points, maybe hitting little sticks, and then maybe went on with bigger targets before he now even went with moving targets, right? Fast moving targets with vicious targets. And he was able to know and practice that skill. When the opportunity came for him to fight Goliath, guess what? People think, David was lucky. No, it wasn't luck. It was a classic case of that opportunity met David's preparation. Remember this. In those moments of troubled waters, that is where you're getting prepared. And when you need to just learn that, harness that, allow yourself, get prepared and prepped in those moments so that when that opportunity comes, you're ready to go. Now, let me tell you my own personal story of when opportunity meets preparation. And it was a story, it's something that happened to me early last year. Now, I have had many years of obscurity, right? I'm there writing daily presentations, writing articles, writing proposals, you know, going for TV presentations. Sometimes, you know, people like you and you think, ah, yes, this is the moment that, you know, the NSA is going to watch my interview and he's going to call me to be his deputy, and then nothing happens. Like, it's just crickets afterwards. And you're like, oh, well, you know, time to keep going, I guess. And you just keep preparing because the day will come, the opportunity and the time will come. So each day, I didn't realize it at the time, but I was actually, you know, honing my skills in presentation, my presentation skills. And so one day I actually got a boss from a prominent, I got a call rather from a prominent media boss. And he said, hey, Tawa, come and speak at this event tonight and just, you know, come and say something about security. And I said, oh, okay, sure. No problem. And I remember when I hung up the phone, I remember thinking, I've come a long way. That someone can just tell you, come and present tonight. And I'm like, yeah, sure, not a problem. You know, easy breezy, not even concerned or worried. I was like, oh, that's good. Good job. You know, good job. Goliath is around. I think, you know, I could take him out. Not a big deal. So I went to this event. I didn't even prepare my speech at home. That's how confident I was that I knew what I was going to say. So but because I figured I would have something already on my laptop that would speak to it, I would just, you know, use one of that. So I spent my time focusing on getting dressed, you know, making sure my hair and makeup and my outfit, I looked good, I looked decent, I looked, you know, presentable. And then when I got to the venue, I opened my laptop and I started working on my speech. So when I was done, I closed my laptop and I look up. Hey, I started seeing very, very big people in that room. When I say big people, I mean big people. I was seeing, like, think of the big men in this Nigerian society from the north, south, east, west. I'm talking all the billionaires. How many billionaires do you know? Hey, I'm here. Let me know which ones. Dangote, he was there. Otedola, he was there. Name them, they were there. All the bank CEOs, think of your bank. Think of the founder or the owner of your bank. He was in that room. All the oil and gas CEOs, think of where you're buying your petrol. The CEO, he was in that room. Half of the governors in Nigeria, active, think of your home state, your governor, he was in that room. I was like, yo, what is going on? Ministers, senators, I went back to my laptop. I said, come, what is it that I'm actually saying? So based on the crowd, I was like, okay, not a big deal, whatever, I got this, right? Whatever. So I just edited and tweaked my introduction a little bit, you know, because again, you have to be ready. You have to be prepared. And this was really a moment, an opportunity had come for me. And it was time for my preparation to meet that. So I was put on a stage along with a very prominent governor in the Northeast. And then so he got up and he spoke, and I was to speak right after him. And even while he was speaking, I was like, man, Tawa, you got this. Remember that thing, you got to speak to yourself. Speak it. Oh, you got this. I'm good. This is, oh, I'm a better speaker than this. Oh, watch me. I'm going to dazzle this room. That things I was telling myself. So I got up there. I spoke after this prominent governor. I took the podium. Within 10 seconds, I had the attention of this crowd. And I will tell you this, they were captivated from start to finish. I took the podium and I said, good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Many of you here need no introduction, but please permit me to introduce myself. My name is Tawa Ashiru. I'm the CEO of Bulwark Intelligence, a security consulting company that operates across Africa. Now, we approach security through risk-based approaches, and we advise our clients on how to mitigate their operating risks. I have been in the security industry for almost 20 years. And one key lesson I've found is that no one size model fits all. What worked in village A will not necessarily work in village B. So I'm a big proponent of understanding local drivers of insecurity and finding how to find the solutions to them. Let me tell you a little bit about my background before we proceed. I was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm ashamed to say this, but I've never been to Sokoto. However, my dream is to one day be able to take a road trip across Nigeria from Lagos to Sokoto without needing any armed security escort or even without needing a driver. So help me God. Everyone burst out laughing. I mean, there are men that go around with the whole police force, you know, for me to say that. Someone said, God help you. I say, yes, yes. And so we all laughed, and I broke the ice in that moment. I captured their attention. And then I went on. I said, I'm a U.S. Air Force veteran. I served 6.5 years in the military. where I worked as an intelligence analyst. I worked at the US National Security Agency, one of the top intelligence agencies in the world. And I worked as a defense contractor in Helmand Province in Afghanistan. My background is in counterinsurgency, counterterrorism, counter-IED, and now in enterprise security risk management. I said, now the purpose of me telling you all this is so that you know that I'm here representing the female perspective, the military perspective, the intelligence and security perspective, the private sector perspective, the NGO perspective. And since the hair underneath my head, underneath my wig is not gray, I'm also representing the youth perspective. All of them bust out clapping. And then from that point on, I got them hooked. I had my key points, 4 key points I'm going to give you, bam, 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 went straight to the point. And, you know, before I even finished saying what I wanted to say, their clapping drowned out my thank yous. I was greeted like royalty afterwards. I was approached by so many governors, so many leaders. In fact, one prominent, one of the prominent people, he's based up north, one of these northern states. And he walked up to me. It was like a 3-day event. He walked up to me and he goes, I just want to let you know, I still think that your speech was the highlight of this weekend. And he walked away. I said, wow, many of these high profile individuals, I still speak with them even till today. Listen, this event showed me something. It showed me, number one, don't sell your soul to make it big. If you believe in God, you need to know this. God really showed me that when he's ready, he knows how to open the right doors. But when he opens the right doors, will you be ready? All right. Some of you don't realize it, but your troubled waters is actually your boot camp. It's actually where you're learning how to win. It's actually where your greatness is being birthed. So that when the opportunity comes and someone throws you a rope while you're in troubled waters, you know how to swim, to grab onto the rope and to pull yourself out to safety. So you need to learn how to hold on to your vision. You must see yourself getting out and breaking forth. You must see yourself winning. You must strengthen your belief that you can do it. You do this by speaking what you see. Remember, the more you say it, the more you'll see it. So work on that affirmation. Speak it daily. You are the sum total of what you have been confessing through the years. All right. So start saying what you want to see. Then you want to start taking actions towards actualizing this vision. Write it down, break it down into goals, and then break it down further into daily activities. Make sure you're tracking your daily activities, what you're doing and what you're not doing. And then focus. Focus on the important things. Time box your time that you spend on social media. Give it a time limit, okay? And instead try to spend more time on income producing activities. And finally, embrace these humble beginnings. Know that your troubled waters are there to make you much stronger. Keep learning, keep growing. In these times, you're being prepared so that when the real opportunity comes for you to step up, you will be ready to take the challenge. People will think that you came out of nowhere. I know that, I know you guys now know me. But imagine if, they called me and they announced me as the national security advisor. And then people are like, Tanwa, from where? The girl just came out of nowhere. You didn't come out of nowhere. You gained that strength in troubled waters and you built the muscles, mental muscles, physical muscles, the emotional and strong muscles. You built that while you were in these troubled waters. So they would think you came out of nowhere, but they won't know that what you did was you made a decision to win when you were in troubled waters. And people will be talking about your story for generations to come. So thank you all so much. I hope this has been really helpful. Remember your to-dos, make sure you do it. And I'm looking forward to hearing your stories of winning.
You have to understand as a leader that your good heart, your good will is not weakness, rather it's courage. And there will be a day that good heart, good will save you. It will be that unique factor that is going to pull you out of the rubble, out of the challenges. And you must understand this very, very well. I've had to always analyze this personally to say, a lot of time when we're in crisis, many of the times I've been in crisis, I don't know if you guys, it's been from my good heart. It's been, trying to be kind, trying to be nice. Sometimes with employees that betray you. But what has always kept me out is that I didn't do what was wrong. I'm courageous to have treated them fairly, and I'm not going to give up. I'll give a practical example. First time I
when we're still a Nigerian company. So I rewarded the best staff with all expense paid trip to Dubai. He came to Dubai. When he returned to Nigeria, he misbehaved until he resigned. The second person, all expense paid trip to Dubai, she resigned. The third year, you know what I did? I sent 50 people. And many stayed. So the reality is this, that when you face that pain of, oh, I was wrong, oh, it was my fault to have treated them right, you will never be wrong doing what is right. In fact, if you want to come out of crisis, do more good things. But of course, be careful and be critical about your analysis. One of the things I've had to evolve is to, if I face those issues, who are children? The Bible talks about, Jesus says, I do not give food that are meant for children to dogs. Right? He said that to that woman. And you have to always be analyzing. Of course, some people are wolves in sheep clothing. You will face that. But each time, say, okay, how else could I have analyzed this and be sure I'm dealing with children and not dogs? But again, some children will turn to dogs at some point. So don't ever be angry that you treated people right as a leader. In your moment of crisis, I want you to know that your greatest weakness will end up being your greatest strength. Lastly is be courageous, be bold, face it. Yes, it happened. Yes, I made a mistake. Yes, we are not perfect. And so what? He that, has not sinned, cast the first stone. And you realize that everybody who were challenging you will run like a pack of coward people. And that's the truth here. Is when you run, is when you refuse to confront what is confronting you, that it begins to grow bigger and better. But when you face it, yes, we have this challenge. Yes, we've not done this. Yes, we're not perfect. And so what? That's how you move forward. So what I've realized is this. A lot of time when we're analyzing, let me use this. An object remains in a state of rest until force is applied, right? So let's assume this is a force trying to push this way. And then this book is trying to push up. This is upward. What we are often, not conscious of is that the higher we go, remember this is a mountain. I'm assuming we're going to the mountain now, right? We're going to the mountain, right? Now, when an object stays here, remember how even without this force pushing it down, because it's a steep climb, when it stops, what happens? Naturally, the weight begins to pull it down. And in reality, is that something is still pulling it down. So if you're really serious, this is the law astronauts and going to space have to use. Same thing with the aeroplane. You want to really, really push, right, consistently so high for a period of time until you really, really have scale beyond the normal level. And at that point, you can never come down. You just now need to maintain. It's just the concept of Apple. Before Apple became that company that everybody's using, there was a lot of work that needed to happen. Before Microsoft, there was a lot of work that needed to happen. Today now, whether they are innovative or not, just what they've created already has enough consumer behavior who can maintain and sustain it. So when you start, one success is not enough, 2 is not enough, 10 is not enough. You want your success to become a habit, your product and service to become a consumer habit, that no matter what, they will consume what you've produced. At that point, you can now look for somebody to maintain it. And that's the strategy, ladies and gentlemen. But mistake many of us make, we make one big breakthrough, we relax, or 2 breakthrough, we relax. That's not how you get here. You have to constantly keep pushing consistently until you're in the space. When you're in the space, of course, you can just focus on floating. But it may take you 10 years to get to space, 15 sometimes, 20 sometimes. But once you get there, don't stop. don't discriminate what trade, what service, what particular trade will help you to break through. Just keep trying as many till you figure it out. At 25, I was selling popcorn. I was hawking electronics. And I was selling motivational books at trade fair. I was organizing trade fairs as well. And I'm happy I did that, because those were my foundation that helped me to stay good till today. I failed so fast that by 28, I had done more than 20 businesses that didn't work. And that's why I was seated at 25-year-old me. I failed so fast that you have mastered failure. You have mastered what not to do. And by the time you start doing the right thing, it's a lot easier for you to keep going faster and higher and better. But more importantly as well is keep looking for mentors. Many will say no. You learn the power of accessing great people through gifts, through, selecting and discovering what is most critical to them. I remember a particular man I got very close to. I got to know him at the time of his grief. He just lost his wife. And one of the things I had to do was, I knew the biggest need he had that time was comfort. Come to his house, we pray together, bring portrait of his dear wife. And that really got me to penetrate into his heart. I became one of the most, precious people to him. So figure out what that mentor needs, at that moment that could help you to gain entrance into their heart. Because ultimately, your failure stops the day you meet a mentor willing to hold you and help you go to the top. By the way, I want to thank the organizers of this, the family of the late Ubong King, for continuing his legacy. And I hope you're one of those who admire him. I'm one of the few interviews he granted before his passing. Very great man. But one of the things that the late Ubong King will want you to do right now is to succeed, is to break forth, is to become the best you that ever exists, is to shatter the records, is to understand that no matter the background, and one of the things we both share was that we came from a very bad, not successful background. But what was important in his heart was to prove to you and I that no matter your background, it's not the reason why your back should be on the ground, and that you can rise to the highest level. No matter the challenge, no matter what you face, you can become the best you that exists. And I've come to tell you the same. There's a great you. There's a best you. There's a better version of you that exists. And I promise you, if you continue on the right track, it's a matter of time. The world will gather to celebrate your rising and your excellence. Congratulations, and thank you for watching. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Articulate Baba, articulate Bobo. I came to talk. I came to gist. I came to swagger. I came to ginger. I came to vibrate.
In my dreams, I see you, I feel you. That is how I know you go on. Far across the distance and spaces between us, you have come to show. Go on. Near, far, wherever you are, I believe that the heart does go on. Once more, you open the door and you're here.
everything that he was to me and to every single person that he had come across. I want to thank God for his life, for being such a blessing to us. We will never forget you, sir. We will never forget everything that you did. Thank you for always wanting to see me grow. Thank you so much. I will keep working hard, and I hope I always make you proud.
You're safe in this heart, and this heart will go on.
Gravity is a law. Whatever goes up must come down. You can never stay up forever. So if you are going up, learn to build people beside you. Learn to grow with people. Learn to carry others along. Because if you don't carry others along, when you get to the peak, there will be nobody to give you support system from one level to the other. Are you carrying people along with you? Because when you go up there, it will be difficult for you to stay up. Once the light shines, the power of that bulb has begun to die. So better know that now. As you are shining today, you are already depleting the energy you are carrying. The resources that took you there is burning out. That bulb cannot stay on forever. Another bulb will replace it. So as you succeed, know that your expiry time has come. So start getting others ready who will either take your place or you can mentor them. So make sure you prepare yourself for the next level and learn to coach other people. Learn to be part of making history in other people's lives. Tomorrow has started. Once your shine has come, know that your end has started already. Nobody stays on top forever. Build people, build men, and build the society. Understanding business and structure from the Bible. The minimum number of businesses Ubong King should have is 4. Minimum. Pareto's principle says 20% of your investment brings 80% of your result. How do you get to it? Question is, how many of you want to be successful in life? I need to see those hands up. Understanding business and structure from the Bible. The minimum number of businesses Ubong King should have is 4. Minimum. Pareto's principle says 20% of your investment brings 80% of your result. How do you get to it? Question is, how many of you want to be successful in life? I need to see those hands